Okay.
Ay mo, buhay mo para sa kapwa-tao. Mahirap man, tuloy pa rin ang laban. Dito na ang tahanan upang paglingkuran ang bayan. Makitang bangkay. Ingatan mong lahat sila lahat kumakalinga. Pag-iiwala, kulay nila, pagkakaisa, kaligtasan ng iba.
us put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Father in heaven, always merciful and giver of life, we humbly ask that you bless each one of us, from the speakers, program committees, guests, and participants. Guide us to make better decisions as we incorporate what we will learn throughout this activity. Thank you for the infinite blessings and countless opportunities. Lord, today as we start our activity, may we always be grateful to learn new things. Shed the light of your wisdom and bless each one, especially our speakers, as they will share their knowledge to us. Through your mercy and grace, may peace and utmost understanding shine and dwell unto us. Almighty God, accompany each one and help us concentrate for us to gain more knowledge as we listen to them. This we ask in your name. Amen.
Good morning po ulit. Nandito na tayo ulit sa ating mga gawain, pangalawang araw. Hingan muna natin ng konting mensahe. Konting mensahe si Sergio. Sergio, go ahead please.
Good morning everyone. Good morning po. And again, thank you very much for the successful first day of our webinar. Now, I would like to give special thanks, syempre, to Ma'am Daisy Budomo for a very good flow of the program and the session, as well as the one who is preparing the presentations when it comes to ICT, Sarah Adams Budomo, and also our speakers, facilitators, the department heads for a very good job well done po. And most especially, the participants, the Fernando Air Base Integrated National High School family. Thank you very much for your cooperation. So hoping that this second day will be more fruitful, no more painful when it comes to the insights to be delivered by our speakers, Ma'am Mohana, our Science Department Head, Ma'am Alma Dimaano, our Communication Department Head, and our ICT Coordinator, Ma'am Guse. So to all of you, thank you very much po. Ma'am
Okay, so eto na tayo. Good luck sa mga senior citizens. Dahil tayo nasa new normal, kakararin na natin to. And I think the first presenter this morning, we really have to listen to her very, very well kasi ang mga output natin ay, nako, kailangan may pasa kay sir. By the way, yung evaluation pala, yung kung saan kayo maglalagay ng evaluation nyo pagkatapos ng 2 araw, ay nakapost na dito. Tama. Ito po ha, huwag niyong kalilimutan, diyan po tayo maglalag para sa ating evaluation. Okay, so let's now move on. I guess si Ma'am Gusi ay ready na yan kagabi pa. So go ahead, Ma'am Gusi.
Okay, maraming salamat po Ma'am Daisy, Sir Adams, Sir Jo. Thank you po. Okay, ayan. So, bago po ang lahat ay let's all thank God kasi lahat tayo ay nandito. Kita naman po ng mga smiles dyan. Ayan, ngiti po. Ayan, ngiting tagumpay na agad. Ayan. So, sabi nga po ni Ma'am Daisy, ay makinig Pero ito naman po ay napakasimple lamang. Alam ko po na ako nga po ay natutuwa sa mga teachers ng Fernando Air Base. Sa pool ng pagdating ko po sa Air Base, ako po ay natutuwa dahil kahit po sabihin na natin na medyo young adult, ayan, ay talaga pong sila ay ang galing-galing pagdating sa larangan pa rin ng ICT. Walang don'ts, walang no's, lahat po sila ay go, go, go lang palagi. Ano? So, since nandito nga po tayo sa new normal na sinasabi, okay, so ito po ay isa sa mga platforms na pwede nating gamitin, the Google Classroom. So, hindi lang sa ating klase, kundi pati na rin sa department natin. Ano po, katulad ng ginawa ng Sergio. Even though hindi siya nagtuturo, wala siyang estudyante, pero nag-create siya ng isang classroom para sa atin, para sa ating lahat. Sabi NHS, maging ito man ay non-teaching and for teaching personnel. Ano po? Now, narinig niyo na po ba yung kanta ni Kim Chu? Sa classroom, bawal lumabas. Pero pag sinabing pag nag-comply ka, pwede ka nang lumabas. So, ganun din ba sa ating Google Classroom? So, tignan natin. So, welcome to Classroom! So, what is it? What is a Google Classroom? So, ito po ay available sa lahat ng schools. Most especially tayo po na nasa sa public schools. It has a domain of Google Apps for Education. So dati po, bigyan ko lang kayo ng brief history from Google. Nung early 2000, early 2000, ay nagkaroon po ng Gun Google, si Google. So, ang advantage po ngayon natin, dati po, binibili ang domain. Ano ba pag sinabing domain? Ako po ba'y naririnig ng lahat? Hello? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Naririnig.
Yes. Salamat po. Salamat po. Hindi po. Kindly unmute po ulit. Salamat po. Okay. So, before po, kapag sinabi nating domain, di ka po meron tayong halimbawa www.google.com. We have the .com. Okay. So dati po, yun yung binibili. Kapag wala kang iyong domain, hindi ka makakagamit ng classroom. So halimbawa, kailangan ang Fernando Air Base ay magkaroon ng kanyang domain. Halimbawa po ako, Cindy Guse at fabinhs.google.com. So katulad po nung sa O365, nakikita niyo po yun po yung tinatawag nating domain. Okay. Since si Google Classroom po, if rin na yun, lahat po tayo ngayon ay makakagamit na ng classroom. And even ang ating mga estudyante. Okay, yun po ang kagandahan ni Google ngayon. Ibinigay po nila sa DepEd at sa lahat ang Google Classroom as free. Okay. So ano pa po ba ang classroom? Classroom is a way to get all of your students in one place and allows you to easily assign work and for students to turn it in. So katulad ng classroom, yung ating literal na classroom, nandun lahat ang ating estudyante. Okay? Doon tayo nag-a-assign ng mga task para sa ating mga estudyante. Okay? Lahat ng work assignments, nandun tayo sa classroom. So sinasabing, it is the home base. Okay? So lahat nandito kay classroom. Bakit kaya siya tinawag ng home base ni Google Drive or ni Google? So, okay. So, ito po yung objectives natin ngayon. At the end of this webinar, you will be able to understand how Google Classroom will impact teaching and learning. Learn best practices for creating engaging assignments in Google Classroom. understand how to create quizzes and tests that automatically grade themselves. So ito po yung katulad ng pinakita namin ng sir kanina. Ito na po, nauna na po yun. Create a Google Classroom. Change classroom settings to encourage a positive learning environment. So syempre, you must know how to enroll students in your classroom and how to create assignments and announcements. So today's classroom.
Excuse me, Ma'am Guse.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Pwede natin
Yes,
bigyan ng kaunting minuto si Sir Mercado para sa message. As we have
Sure.
to-
Sure.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Good morning, Sir Ed.
Good morning. Anyway, okay lang naman sana kasi nakita ko in the almost top na yung ni Cindy. So, medyo late kasi ako gawa ng mahina ang internet. So, inano ko pa. So,
Okay.
anyway, this is the second day, Thank you for kasi kayong nanguna sa cascade dito. Actually, there's this very urgent. At alam po naman natin na we are in the midst of pandemic, kaya marami tayong gawain sa mga hinaharap. At actually, hindi lang hinaharap, talagang ginagawa na natin ngayon, no? We are very grateful kasi division office and talagang very supportive sila to make our students be accommodated in any ways, no? In any way. And I'm very glad na you are cascading this. Actually, sabi nga natin, nakakaano yung mga teacher, alam ko lahat tayo, even kami natataranta din kasi how it will going to be, no? Kasi bigla ito. At the same time, even the time frame, what we call the competencies that was supposed to be taught in a year ay nagkagulo na rin, no? So, but in general naman, we are working so much. And I do believe na kaya naman natin ito. Actually, kaya ito yung nagkakascade na tayo. I'm sorry for the inconvenience kasi before this, there's an announcement that we will not do anything unless there were we call modules. So unfortunately, the modules are not yet complete, and we are just trying to augment some learning materials. Kaya ang division office talagang nag-work out. Actually, all of us in the division and even our writers are on the middle of making learning modules. And every day we talk with the writers, we talk with the supervisors to see to it that we are all working and we are on the right track. That's why we are asking the teachers na kahit na wala pa yung mga module na sinasabi, we go in our way na lahat tayo, kaya nga nakakascade na ito, is to learn something, especially we will make the lesson exemplar in the next few days. And it is the job of the master teacher, the school heads, kasi kayo ang forefront of this, and then we follow it up. And this kind of what we call the same time, how what will be the modalities. This very timely kasi we are discussing the Google Classroom, and hopefully sana, anyway, we don't know how many of our students could avail on this, because the same with us, there's also a kind of a problem in terms of internet connectivity, and that is also a great what we call challenge for each one of us. And I know that many of us will also bring much difficulties, especially doon sa mga remote areas. Kasi if you're going to look at it, kahit po modular naman yan, we still have to use the online because we have to follow them up. We have to see whether they are working or not. sometimes we are hesitant because we are just trying. Many of these people are pessimistic in any way. Na sabi nga nila, kung nasa school nga ay hindi masyado nakaka-focus, how much more in the at home. That's why in the learning continuity plan, it was scheduled that supposed to be the principal should talk with the parents and other stakeholders and how to follow them up. And although there's a truth in it that it will be very difficult, but we don't have any other way, and then we don't have any means to do it. It will be for me. It's very not to say it's not for me. It's not admissible na i-stop naman yung schooling, no? Schooling para lang to go with the normal. Hindi nga natin alam kung kailan magiging normal. So if we're going to stop here, what will happen? No, the DepEd, the whole division or the whole department is really trying to catch up at talagang sumusugal, no? Kasi kung ito man ay hindi mangyayari, sabi nga ng ating secretary, what will happen? There will be idle for how many months and what will happen in the future, no? So I know it will be a challenging task for each one of us, especially for, aminin natin, for those who are in the medieval year because it's now the millennial, no? So medyo mabigat ito, no? Medyo mabigat. Kaya again, it is a challenge. Pero alam ko naman na hindi niyo pwedeng pabayaan ng mga kasama niyo kung on everyday work at the school, any kind of support that we could give to our learners, our teachers. Alam ko naman hindi natin pabayaan na. And then at the end, we will see, at the end of the tunnel, we will see light kasi ang pandemic naman ay hindi forever, no? Sabi nga natin, naniniwala ako sa forever pero ang pandemic hindi ako naniniwala. Siguro may ibang darating pero hindi ito, no? And we just hope and pray na sana matapos na rin kasi alam nyo to tell you the truth, maganda rin naman ang ginawa ng pandemic kasi akin personally to me kasi I realize na ang buhay pala ganoon mahirap din, no? Ang hirap na nasa bahay. Minsan nakakayamot na napunta ka lagi sa school, parang nakakatamad na sa school, pero ngayon namimiss mo ang school, namimiss mo mga bata, namimiss mo ang lahat ng bagay. So siguro tama lang na ito na sabi nga ng pandemic, kailangan mabagong routine, no? Para to make something kasi we don't have challenges in life, walang mangyayari. So siguro that's part of the challenges. This is a part of what make us more stronger and at the same time to be prepared in the future. So good luck. Good luck. Thank you, Sergio, dahil talagang pinaporsige mo ito. Actually, we are tasked by the division office to monitor. Now, this is the way how we're going to monitor now. Sabi nga natin, we cannot do it physically, so we do it in virtual manner. So, thank you, mga teachers, kasama natin dyan, Sergio. So, pagtulungan na natin to at good luck. Alam ko, dumadami na rin ang inyong enrollment at alam ko na dumadami enrollment, siyempre, the ratio of teachers ay naglalayo. So, hopefully, magagawa lahat ng paraan ito and we will see again the light in the tunnel. We will succeed on this. Thank you and good morning sa inyo.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir Mercado ay minsan ay naging ama ng Fernando Erbase National High School at maganda ang kanyang reflection at ang kanyang hashtag, walang forever sa pandemic. Right? Okay, let's move on. Go back to you, Ma'am Cindy.
Ma'am Cindy. Go po, Ma'am Cindy.
Okay. Okay na po? Naririnig niyo po ako?
Okay, go on. Sige, Cindy. Sige.
Okay, sige, salamat. Sir Ed, maraming salamat po.
Okay.
Okay, so let's continue. So, sabi nga ng sir, hindi na millennials ang ating mga estudyante na ngayon. Ito po yung tinatawag na Generation Z. Ayan, kasi mga millennials ay baka po sa mga teachers ay part pa ng millennial. So ngayon po ay Generation Z. So tayo po mga educators, regardless of our age, kailangan nating mag-adapt sa Generation Z. Kailangan nating mag-adapt sa ating environment. So ito po nakikita natin is the literal classroom. Po. So we have the room, we have the seats, we have the teacher's table, the blackboard, and ayan, the literal. So yan po yung ating medyo iiwanan muna. Sabi nga ni sir, walang forever sa pandemic. Siguro, kaya medyo iiwanan lang muna po natin yan. So what is a Google Classroom? Ayan. So ayan ang pumalit. Nawala ang teacher's table, nawala ang seats, okay? Nawala yung literal na building. So eto yung mga pumalit. So ngayon po, sa ating mga participants, pwede po kayong mag-unmute ng inyong mga microphones kapag itinuro ko po yung mga icons na nandito sa ating screen. Pwede pong sumagot kung sino ang nakakaalam ng mga pangalan ng icons ni Google. Ready?
Gmail.
Okay. Sino yun? So we have mail. Another one.
Gmail.
Google Calendar. So that's mail.
Google
Good.
Calendar.
Yan, the Google Calendar.
Hangouts.
Very good. Hangouts. So ano ba yung Hangouts? So ginagamit ko si Hangouts. So kung meron po tayong Messenger, okay, yan. Kay Google, meron po tayong Hangouts. So baka po mamaya, mag-give na natin sa Messenger at tayo na kay Hangout na. How about this one?
Yan ay docs. Documents.
Google Docs.
Is it not?
Documents.
This is document.
Ito pa yun.
How about this one?
Google Form.
Okay, very good. Sino po yun? Yes. This is the Google Form. This one.
Form.
Google Drive.
Right. Galing.
Sheets.
Sheets. Ayan, ako magkakapremyo yung magagaling. How about it?
Google Files.
Is it files? Other answer?
Share.
Ano po? Yun, narinig ko. Sino po ang sumagot ng sites? Sino po sumagot ng sites? Ano po lang po. Galing po. Ito po.
Classroom.
Right. The classroom. How about it?
Classroom.
Ito po.
Slides.
Slides, yes.
G+.
G-Class. Tama po yun.
Google Form.
The Google Class. And ito po muli.
Ayan po ay
Ano po ito? Sige po, kaya natin yan. O, yan, search pa more.
Volt. Hindi ko alam.
Volt. Okay, yan, Volt. Well, actually, personally, hindi ko rin po ginagamit ang Volt. Kasi ito po ay ginagamit ng mga administrators and for legal. Sila po gumagamit niyan. Okay, ang gagaling po ninyo. Congratulations. So, ito po ngayon, ang makikita natin sa loob ni Classroom. Okay, sa loob ni Google Classroom. Lahat po yan nandoon sa loob. Aside sa ating mga students na ipapasok natin kay Google Classroom. Okay po? So, next slide po tayo. So having the G Suite for Education allows you to access to all apps. So lahat ng nakita natin kanina, okay, lahat po yun we can access to it. Once na meron po tayong account, syempre. Iyan po ba ay para lang sa DepEd? Para lang po ba yan sa DepEd account? No, hindi po. So once na meron kang Gmail account, may account ka kay Google, lahat ng G Suite application, you can access to it. Ano pa? Yan. So, secured just for your domain. So yan, hindi po tayo lalabas. Kung tayo po ay na kay DepEd Edu, kay DepEd Edu lang po tayo. Yun po yung domain natin. Katulad po, kapag nakikita ninyo, hindi po ako maka-join sa link. So bakit po hindi maka-join sa link? Okay? So one of the reasons is, hindi DepEd account yung ginagamit. So kailangan i-accept pa, kailangan i-admit pa ni administrator kasi hindi ka member ng group. Kumbaga, labas ka ng umbrella. Nakukuha po ba? So kapag ganyan, kapag meron tayong domain, ito yung isa sa ina-allow sa atin ni Google G Suite o ni Google Suite. Ayan. Accounts for teachers and students. So katulad nung atin. So wag lang po tayong malilito. Sa dinami-dami ng accounts natin, lalo na po ngayong mga nagdaang panahon, worry ko po bagay ang mga teachers ay litong-lito na sa kanilang mga accounts. So meron po tayong kanya-kanyang paraan para tayo ay hindi makalimot sa account at lalong higit sa mga passwords. Ang mga estudyante po natin ganun din. So sabi nga, nasa new normal tayo, so we will help our students kung paano din ba magkaroon yan. And for sure, since nasa Generation Z, baka po mas marami pa nga ang account ng mga estudyante kaysa sa atin. So kailangan lang po nilang i-utilize ng maayos, gamitin ng maayos. So what is a Google Classroom? It is a digital education solution for G Suite education users, particularly classroom teachers and enterprise trainers. So ito po ang ating pag-aaralan maya-maya. So magha-hands-on po tayo. Okay? I-prepare po natin ang ating mga laptops. As an effective content management system and online learning platform, so Google Classroom easily integrates other G Suite applications, yung pinakita kanina, time management, and collaboration. So pwede rin po natin gawin dito na at the same time, okay, ay tayo ay gumagawa sa isang file. Ginagawa na po natin to. Example ay yung ating Google Sheet. Okay? Na kapag may mga users na hindi pa familiar in using that, okay, ang nangyayari po is nadadamay yung ibang files ng mga kasamahan. Okay? Kasi andun po yung collaboration. Ano po? So, ang nangyayari, ang iba nadidelete ang files, yun po yung mga nagiging disadvantage. Ang iba, pag hindi na-delete, ay na-edit yung files. Ayan. So, kasi yun po yung design ni Google Classroom to collaborate. Pero, wag naman po nating sisisihin o wag naman po tayo magagalit kapag may magaganong pagkakataon. Kasi, eto po, nasa kumbaga, nasa stage pa po kasi tayo ng simula. Okay, beginning pa lang po. Ayan, and later on, naku, masasanay na. Ganyan kagagaling ang mga teachers. Madaling matuto. Another one, ano pa ba si Google Classroom? So Google Classroom saves your time. It keeps us organized and it helps us to communicate with our students. So it will save time. So paano masasabing it will save time? So kapag po, unlike ng ating ginagawa every day sa klase natin, so aside sa time, yung effort natin, so from one room going to another room, medyo nagko-consume na po siya ng time and effort. Paano kapag ang isang teacher andun sa first building, tapos pupunta pa siya doon sa other building? So, di po ba, ilang minutes din ang nawawala, no? Pero dito sa ating Google Classroom, isang click lang. Okay, millisecond lang. From one class to another class, pwede mo na siyang gawin. Okay? Na-organize din natin katulad nung kaninang ipinakita natin. Yung ating pre-demonstration, yung pre-demonstration natin kanina. Okay? Nagkakaroon na-organize po natin yung mga bagay-bagay. At with this, hindi nawawala yung mga files. So halimbawa, yung quiz. Naku, saan ko ba nailagay ang papel ng quiz ng mga batang yun, ng section na yun? So, ang iba nami-misplace natin. So, pero kay Google Classroom, intact po siya. So, once na nagbigay ka ng quiz, ipinasa ng bata ang quiz, andyan lang yan. Hindi po yan mawawala. Unless, kayo pong user ang magbibili. Okay po ba? Okay. Pwede rin ba tayong magkaroon ng communication kay Google Classroom? Yes po. Okay. So kung makikita po doon, may mga chat box din po tayo doon. Okay. Another one, easy setup. Okay. So siguro po lahat tayo nakapag-set na ng ating Google Classroom. Kung hindi pa, so maya-maya gagawin po natin yan. Yan, it saves time and paper. Ngayon po, mako-conserve na natin ang mga puno. Kasi konting papel na lang ang ating magagamit. Ano po, environment friendly din naman pala si Classroom. Better organization, okay? At enhanced communication and feedback. So, with this one, katulad kanina, yung pre-demonstration, kapag na-check ni sir, kapag na-check ni teacher, at medyo kulang, pwede niyang ibalik kay student. Okay. At walang face-to-face na nangyayari. Okay. Gumagamit pa rin tayo ng ating platform. So, with that, nagkakaroon pa tayo ng communication at na-enhance pa ang mga abilities ng bata. Works with apps you use. So, yung kaninang mga applications. Affordable and secure. So, ayan. May binili ba tayo? Wala naman tayong binili kay Google Apps. Ano po? Meron po ba tayong para i-design sa classroom? Nagpinta ba tayo? Hindi. Okay? So, kung ganun, anong mangyayari sa isang classroom kung hindi natin bibilhan ng mga pang-design, kung hindi natin bibilhan ng mga pinta? So, paano natin ma-enhance ang ating magiging classroom? Mamaya po ulit yan. Okay? Tatandaan po natin ang mga Google applications. So, ito po yung tinatawag nating Google Suite for Education. Now, eto na po tayo. Ready na po ba? Hello po, ready na po ba kayo?
Ready na. Opo.
Yes. So, sige. Pwede po kayo medyo mag-stretch ng kaunti. Ayan. So, how to create your own class. So, malamang marami po sa atin siya nakapag-create na. Kasi si Sir nag-create na. So, madami nag-try na din. Oh, paano yung ginawa ni Sir? Okay? Meron ding ibang, sige, mag-iintay na lang kung paano mangyayari yan. Okay? So, eto po yung time. So, i-ready po natin ang ating mga laptop. Okay? Bibigyan ko po kayo ng oras para gumawa po kayo. Okay po? So, i-demo ko po muna and then once na sinabi ko po, ay pwede na po natin gawin. I will give you ample time po. So, how to create your class? Go to Google Classroom. Okay. So, meron po tayong options sa pagpunta ng ating Google Classroom. Okay. Ang isa po, kapag naka-sign in na kayo kay Google, okay, doon sa ating DepEd account, makikita nyo po, ito. Wait lang. Okay, can you see my screen? Sana po'y makisama ang ating internet connection. Ayan. So kapag po tayo ay, ito po yung isang way how to open the Google. Ano? Ang unang way ay doon po sa ating mga Google Apps, sa ating menu, hanapin lang po natin dyan si Classroom. As simple as that. Click. Click nyo lang po yun. Ayan. Or another way naman po, pwede nyo i-type na lang classroom.google.com. Okay, yun din po yun. Yun din po, doon din po ang lalabas. So, kapag po kayo, since meron na po akong mga classes na nagawa, so hindi po ganito ang lalabas sa inyo. Wala pa po kayong makikitang mga classes. Okay? Pero may makikita kayo dyan isa, yung sa Fernando Air Base. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, may isa na tayong classroom. Belong po tayo doon sa classroom na iyon. No? Pero ngayon, paano as teacher, paano tayo mag-create ng ating classroom? So, first step po, ayan, you have to open the Google Classroom. Next. Yan. So, here, meron po tayong plus button. You have to click the plus button to create your first class or to create your own class. Yan. So, plus sign. So, you have to type in your name, section, and then create or click create. Yan. So, here is the plus sign. Yun po. Okay? Babagalan ko po ng konti, ha? So, create. Click the plus sign. So, yan. So, ito po, nasa baba ni join si create. So, ang ginawa po natin doon sa isa, kay Fernando Airbase, nag-join tayo. Kasi meron po tayong pinaka-teacher doon, si Sir. So, ngayon, tayo na ang teacher. Tayo ngayon ang mag-create ng klase natin or ng classroom natin. So, create class. Click. Okay. So, hindi tayo makakapag-create ng isang classroom kung hindi natin siya bibigyan ng pangalan. So, what is the class name? So, it is required po. So, halimbawa, TLE, halimbawa lang po ito, ICT. So, anong section po? Grade 9. Niya. Okay. Subject, TLE, CSS. Room, computer, laboratory. Kung ano pong room tayo. And then create. Click, create. So the classroom is establishing and it is creating pa. Yun. So I have now my classroom. Okay? Maliwanag po ba yun? So, I'm giving you 2 minutes po para kayo ay mag-create ng inyong classroom. Sige po. Sige, create lang po kayo. At the end of the session po, gagamitin nyo po yung create nyo yan. One minute. Okay, 30 seconds. Ten, 9, Okay po. So, sana po lahat nakapag-create na. Pero kung hindi pa, sige lang po, create lang po kayo. Punta po tayo sa next. So, after you have created the classroom, na pangalanan na, nalagyan na ng section, and ano ang sunod? So, what's next? Yan. So, may classroom na tayo. Ano, may classroom na. Ibig sabihin, kailangan na natin ng mga estudyante para mag-join at pumasok sa ating classroom. Mahirap sa isang classroom ang walang estudyante. Si teacher lang. So, paano mangyayari? You have two ways on how to join or how to invite your students. So, number one po, or the first way, is to invite your students via email. Okay. So, kapag po nag-email to join your class, they get a link to click on. So, I will demonstrate it later. At doon po sa aking masasenda ng email, pasuyo po ako, pa-join po sa class. Maraming salamat po. At ang sunod na way ay yung ating mga codes. Ano? So, once na tayo po ay nag-create ng classroom, meron na po yung generated code. So, yung pong code na yon ang isa-send natin sa ating mga students. Okay, maliwanag po ba? Okay. Sige. Next. Okay, ayan. So, ito po ay nagawa na natin. Sigurado akong nagawa nyo na po ito doon kayo ay nag-join sa inyong class, sa class ng ating Fabi LHS. Yan, hinit lang po natin yung join class natin, at abrupt po tayo ay nasa sa loob ng classroom. Okay. So, punta po tayo dito. Ayan. So, andito po ako ngayon sa aking classroom ng PLEICT sa Pinya. Okay, sa Pinya po, G9 Pinya. Ayan. G9 Pinya. So, punta po tayo kay people. So, andito po, teacher. So, kayo po yun yung nag-create. And dito po sa students, dito po tayo mag-i-invite ngayon. So, hit lang po natin yung button, invite students. Ayan. So, type email. Sino kaya ang masasendan ko ng email? Okay. Yun, ako si Sir Joel ang lumabas. Okay. So, Sir Joel, andito po ba kayo?
Opo.
Yes, Sir Joel. So, si Sir Joel po ay aking i-invite sa aking klase. Invite. So, ang ginamit ko po ay email address. Okay, kung alam niyo po ang email address, i-click niyo lang po doon, ita-type niyo lang po. Okay? And then, invite. Yes po.
Pwede tayo mag-post ng konti.
Ay, sure po. Sige po.
Sorry.
It's okay, ma'am. No problem.
So habang tinitingnan ninyo ang inyong screen at pinafamiliarize ninyo kung ano ang nasa screen na pinapakita ni Ma'am Cindy, bigyan natin ng pagkakataon sa isang maikling mensahe ang dating ina ng Fernando Urbase National High School, si Ma'am Vangie Iscabel. Good morning, Ma'am Vangie.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning po, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning po. Good morning po.
Good morning po, ma'am.
Morning po, Ma'am.
Gusto kayo?
Okay lang po.
Okay, Ma'am. Okay po.
Actually, medyo kanina pa ako nakikinig and ayoko saan mga abala dahil siyempre mamaya si Cindy ay kabahan. So, good morning, Sir Jo. Good morning sa lahat. So, tuloy lang po tayo. Good luck sa mga speaker and sa mga participants, makinig lang tayo ng maayos kasi ito na po yung ating new normal. So maraming salamat. Happy webinar, everyone.
Thank you, Ma'am Vanji. Back to you, Ma'am Cindy.
Thank you, Mare.
Go po, Ma'am Cindy.
Okay po. Loading po.
Okay lang, Ma'am Cindy?
Yes po, yes po.
Okay.
Presenting po. Wait lang po. Ayan. Okay. Ayan. So, balik po ulit tayo. Harap po ulit tayo kay laptop. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Vanji.
Thank you, Miss Cindy.
Ayan. So, nasa na po yung ating pinya. Yun. Ayan. Nag-run po tayo ng, nag-invite po ako ng isa. Ayun. So, si Sir Enriquez invited. Okay. Sana po ay ma-accept ng Sir. So, saan ngayon makikita ni Bata yung invitation mo na mag-join sa klase? So, dun po sa email address na pinag-sendan nyo or ibinigay ng bata. Okay? So, once po na na-confirm niya yun, magiging part na po siya ng inyong classroom. Another way is using your code. So, ito po yung code natin. Yan. Yan po yung code natin. Yan. Okay? So, saan natin ibibigay ang code? So, ang mga students po natin, pa-open din natin yung classroom. Siyempre, pa-open natin ang classroom at katulad nung sa ginawa natin sa Fernando Air Base po na classroom, nag-join tayo, ganun din po ang gagawin ng mga bata. So, those are the two ways po on how to invite or enter students in your class. Okay po tayo doon. Sige po. Another 2 minutes po. Mag-enter po tayo ngayon ng kahit 2 estudyante lang. Pwede po na co-teacher. Halimbawa po si co-teacher ay student. Pwede naman po kasi we can delete naman po the students and we can delete the classroom naman po. So, para lang po alam natin kung paano natin gawin na mag-add ng students. At paki-confirm naman po para po makita din ng lahat na meron na po kayong nagawang classroom with students. Sige po, your 2 minutes po starts now. Sige po. Huwag masyadong kumunot. Smile lang po. Smile. At least 2 lang po na estudyante. Si Kumare. Pwede pong i-invite si Kumare. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, sige. Balik po tayo. So kung kayo naka-enter, very good. Kung hindi po, very good din po. Meron pa naman po kayong time maya-maya. Ano po? Sige. Sunod po tayo. So kapag po tayo ay meron ng mga students in our classroom, yan. Yan. So, naka-enroll na tayo. Alamin natin, ano ba yung tinatawag nating classroom homepage? So, once na nakapag-create kayo ng inyong classroom, yun na po yung homepage na tinatawag. So, we have the stream, students, about, at yung nadagdag nyo, you have your grades. Ano po? Yan. So, makikita nyo po, so, magkaiba ang, wait lang po, nauna na ang aking slides. Okay? Ayan. So, malamang ay meron pong pagkakaiba ang aking classroom environment na pinakikita sa classroom environment na meron kayo ngayon. Pero wag pong mag-aalala, yun po naman ay pareho lang ang gagawin. Okay? You are still inside the classroom. So, ayan. So, since may mga naka-enroll na tayong students, katulad po yung literal na ginagawa natin, di po ba, nag-e-enroll tayo. Meron tayong classroom at alam natin na nandun yung classroom natin, mag-e-enroll tayo ng estudyante natin. Pero hindi naman sila kaagad pumapasok. Tama po ba? Hindi po agad pumapasok yung mga estudyante natin. Kasi prior po na pumasok, kailangan you have to enroll. And kapag kumpleto na ang enrollment, eto na. Okay? Proceed tayo kay brigada. Proceed tayo kay Brigada Eskwela. Anong Brigada Eskwela? Bakit may Brigada Eskwela sa Google Classroom? Kasi dito po, dito natin i-enhance ang ating classroom. Okay? Kung ano po yung kanina na medyo pale yung classroom nyo, pwede nyo siyang lagyan naman ng konting design para naman po mas attractive sa ating mga estudyante. Ay, ang ganda naman ng classroom ni ma'am. Ay, picture ni ma'am nandito. Kilala ko tong teacher na to. Okay? So, maya-maya po, yun ang gagawin natin. But, kilalanin muna natin, ano ba yung parts ng classroom natin? Baka mamaya hindi natin alam as teacher. Okay? So, first tab po, the stream tab, ito yung nasa unahan ng ating classroom. Yan. Nasaan si classroom? Ayan. So, yan, the stream tab. Ito po ang ating, lahat po yan, lahat. Yan po ang ating home. Excuse me. Ayan, yan po yung classroom nating tinatawag. Ano? Okay. So, we have the stream. Ito po, yan. So, in stream tab, lahat po ng ating announcements. Yan. And assignments are posted in that stream. Yan, halimbawa, meron po kayong gustong sabihin. Click nyo lang po yan. Halimbawa po, nandun po kayo kay TLEP niya doon sa inyong classroom ha. Halimbawa po, sabihin natin, welcome students. Yan. Students of 2020. Sorry po. Ayan. Halimbawa po yan ang lagay natin. We can add animations, we can add GIFs, we can add presentations kung gusto nyo po na makita ng estudyante yan sa ating stream. Para pag-click pa lang ng estudyante, pag-enter pa lang ng estudyante sa ating classroom, makikita lang nila, mag-motivate sila. Ang ganda naman ng presentation ni ma'am. Okay? So, pwede po natin gawin yan. Pwede po tayong mag-add na kung ano-ano. Pwede pong movies, pictures, link from YouTube. So, depende po kay teacher yan. Okay. Next. What are the other parts? Ayan. Change your classroom theme or add your own photo at the top of your Google Classroom. So, nasaan yun? So, ibig sabihin, so with this po, ayan. Ayan. So, ito po yung theme na tinatawag natin. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ipi-personalize natin. Gagawa natin, ibibrigada natin si classroom. Lalagyan natin ng kung anik-anik. Okay, select theme. So meron po tayo sa gallery, yung mga ready na po. You have to click it lang. And browse na lang po yan. Ayan. Okay, so ito po yung pinili ko dyan. Ayan. And then, you have to upload your photo. Okay. So, dyan po sa photo, pwede pong picture nyo o kung ano pong picture na gusto nyong ilagay. Yun po yung mangyayari. Yun po ang mapapapunta dito kay sa ating. Sige po. Select lang po ako. Oops, wait lang po hanap po tayo ng dito kumuha. Okay, so halimbawa po. Ayan. Ayun. So meron po tayong restriction. Okay? The photo kapag po maliit, yan, may mga restrictions po. Hindi rin po pwede yung masyadong malaki. So it must be at least 800 pixels and 200 pixels. Ayan. So depende rin po sa picture na i-upload natin. So once po na nakapag-upload na tayo ng ating mga photos to enhance natin ang ating themes, what's next? Ayan. So, eto na po yung kanina. Okay? Parts of your classroom. So, we have assignments. Okay? We have the stream and the class code. So, yun po yung pinakita ko na rin kanina. Ano po? So, punta po tayo kay assignments. Ayan. Punta po tayo kay ayan, kay announcement. Yun po kanina ginawa natin. So, ito yung nasa example po natin. So, pwede po tayong mag-type ng announcement natin doon kay stream. Okay? Pwede rin naman po na link galing sa kung saang site. Ano po? Pwede rin po yun. Ayan. So, pag sinabi nating announcements, yan, dito po sila lalabas lahat sa unahan kasi that's an announcement. Okay? So, ngayon, punta po tayo kay classwork. Yan. Discard. Punta po tayo kay classwork. So, katulad nung nasa ating unang klase na sinagutan, yung kung kaninang nasa pre-demonstration, paano ginawa ng sir ang magbigay sa atin ng assignment? So, pag sinabi pong assignment, it is not just a homework na sasagutan ng mga bata or susulatin ng mga bata. Ano po? So when we say assignment or homework, pwede ito ay quiz. Pwede rin ito ay movie na i-evaluate nila. Okay? Pwede rin po na ito ay isang artworks. Ano po? So yun po yung iba-ibang klase natin at marami pang iba. So how to create your classwork. So, ito, simple lang po yan. So, you have to create or click the plus, create. Yan. Ano ang ibibigay mo sa mga bata? Okay? So, kung may ready-made ka na quiz or assignment, pwedeng yun ang ibigay mo. Okay? Kung yung ating module naman po, di ba, we have the module. Kung meron kang soft copy, pwede yun din ang isend mo. Okay? So, halimbawa po kay material tayo. Ayan. Ayan. O, lagyan po natin ang description. CSS or Computer Hardware Servicing, o Computer System Servicing. So, add lang po tayo doon Saan natin kukuhanin? Meron na po ba kayong na-save kay Google Drive? May na-save na ba po kayo sa inyong file? So kapag po ganon, yan, click lang po natin. Okay, ayun. And then upload. Yun. So with that po, makikita na po ng bata, katulad nung kanina, ay may homework. Ay meron po kaming assignment kay ma'am. So makikita na po ng bata ito. Yan. Ayan. So ganun lang po kasimple. Kailangan po i-open pa po ba ito? Ayan. So ayan. So ganyan lang po yun. So yan na po yung makikita ng bata. So since that is a module, babasahin siya ng bata. Ano po. And then, kung gusto po natin ng pasagutan, so katulad din po nung ginawa natin kanina, okay, ipopost po natin yan. Ayan. So nakapost na po siya sa ating classroom. Ayan, nakapost na po sa class. Nakukuha po ba? So again, so module yung ginawa ko. Kayo kung ano po yung gusto ninyong i-classwork sa mga bata. Ay, maliwanag na po iyon. Okay, sunod po tayo. Okay, I have 6 minutes po. I'm sorry. Okay. So ayan. So balik po tayo kay laptop natin. Balik lang po tayo kay laptop. Okay. Create po tayo ng ating announcement. Okay, ayan. Click lang po tayo ng announcement natin. Yun. Good morning, classmates. Nandiyan na po si Sir Jo. Good morning. Good morning po. Ayan. So, ayan. So, siguro po nakuha ng Sir yung code kanina. No, tama po ba, Sir Jo?
Opo, Ma'am Cindy.
Ayan. Very good po. Ayun. So, since nakuha po ng Sir Jo yung aking code kanina, siya po ay student na ng class PLEI CP19 niya. Ayan. So, ngayon po yun po ang gagawin natin. Create announcements po tayo at saka class work. Okay. 3 minutes for that. So, kahit ano po muna ang ating i-upload. Okay, unti-unti na pong nabubuo ang inyong classroom. Meron na po kayong estudyante at ngayon po ay binibrigada nyo na ang ating classroom. Guys, you have 30 seconds remaining. Okay. So time is up. So time is up na po tayo. Okay, balik po tayo ngayon sa ating presentation. Yan. So we're done with creating assignments and announcements. Yan. So, ito po yung sinasabi ko sa paggawa po ng assignments, kahit saan po pwede nating gawin or i-link sa kanya. Oh. So, I am encouraging everyone to save your files sa atin pong Google Drive. Okay, sa inyo pong DepEd account, okay, we have the Google Drive. Napaka-unlimited po ng ating storage dyan. Wala po tayong magiging problema, masira man si laptop, masira man si cellphone. Lahat ng ating files, pictures po man yan, movies or videos, documents, all types of documents, pwede po natin siyang i-save kay Google Drive para kahit saan pwede nating ma-open, ma-retrieve at wala tayong po problemahing lost documents. Okay? So, ayan, nag-attach na po tayo kanina. Ipinakita ko na po yan kanina kung paano mag-attach. Okay. Ayan. So, ito po tracking your student progress. Ito po yung ginawa namin ng sir kaninang pre-demo. Okay? So, I cannot show it kasi I don't have my students yet. Okay po? So yun lang po kanina yung pinakita namin ng sir. Sana po kayo ay nakaabot doon. No po? So I cannot show it po. Pero kung mamarapatin po sana ng sir, pwede po natin ipakita ulit. So ipo-project lang po ng sir yung kanyang classroom para po makita lang ulit po ng lahat.
Okay, ma'am.
Pwede po ba, sir? Salamat po,
Sige,
sir.
okay. Thank you po, ma'am. Ma'am Guse.
Yes po, sir.
Ipe-present ko po.
Sige, present lang po, sir. Para lang po makita
sige
nila.
Po. Mag-stop po kayo. Tapos
Apo.
Kuya!
Okay na po. Kita po ng lahat. Kita po ng lahat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ulit sa ating mga visitors. So ito po yung ginawa ko sa ating Fernando Herbis Integrated National High School. I created the class entitled Fernando Herbis Integrated National High School Faculty and Staff. So kung kayo po ang teacher, as what Ma'am Guse told us, 4 columns po makikita nyo: stream, classwork, people, and grades. So ang teacher lang po ang may column para sa grades. So as you can see, katulad ng ating output, yung ating sample lesson exemplar, dito na po tayo magpapasa sa ating Fernando Herbis Integrated National High School class. So actually, nagbigay po kami kanina ng sample ni Ma'am Cindy. So ito po yon. katulad ni Ma'am Cindy, siya po ay nagpasa ng sample. So kung kayo po ang teacher, makikita nyo yan, may nakalagay po siyang turned in. Kung gusto nyo makita po ang laman, so click the 3 buttons and then view submission. So makikita po nyo yung laman ng output or ng assignment na ibinigay ng estudyante. Katulad po ni Ma'am Cindy, ang ibinigay niyang assignment is the picture of her class. Kita po nyo, mga kasama? Kita po ba yung output?
Kita, sir. Kita.
Yes, sir.
Kita po.
So, yan, okay na po. Katulad din po ng sinubmit ni Ma'am, ayan, si Sir Van Gerald Lansigan ay nag-sample din po ng kanyang submission. So, I will check it po. Ayan po, no files attached pa. Yung kanyang sinubmit. So, yun po. Ano po?
Testing po yun. Testing. No files assessment.
Wala pang...
Hindi, okay po yun. Okay na po.
No assignment, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay na po. Okay na po. Ma'am Cindy, okay na po. Thank you po.
Sige. Lagyan mo ng microphone pag ano pa. Lagyan mo.
Tawag yan lang. Dito. Pwede naman po. Hindi, kung na-boy. Oo, nakatingin kayo sa amin. Mabukas yata ang inyong speaker. Yes, microphone.
Radang, naka-on ka.
Ma'am Cindy, naka-mute ka. Ma'am Cindy.
Hindi nakamute kayo.
Ma'am Cindy, nakamute po kayo. Ma'am Cindy.
Naririnig na po ba ako?
Ayan,
Okay
okay
po,
na.
ma'am. Okay.
Ayun. Talagang ganyan po talaga pag live. Ano po? Pasensya na po.
Talaga.
Okay. So, ayan. Balik po ulit tayo dito. So, yun yung po nakita kanina ng sir. I'm so sorry po kasi I don't have my students yet inside my classroom. So, yun po. Makikita po natin doon kung meron bang mga estudyante na nag-submit. Ano, kapag po ang nakita ay turned in, ibig sabihin, nag-submit ang bata. And then you can see there if those attachments, kapag inopen natin yun, ano yung sinubmit. Okay? Sabi ko nga po, i-anticipate natin na meron mga batang magsasubmit na walang laman. Okay? Meron din mga batang magsasubmit ng kung ano lang. Okay? Ganun po talaga. At may grades po tayo doon. Automatic po na magkakaroon siya ng grade, but depende po yun sa teacher. So meron din po tayo mga options doon na maglalagay kayo ng rubrics kung gusto nyo. Okay? O kaya naman po ay percentage. So, laruin lang po natin, browse lang po natin ang ating Google Classroom. Ayan. So, this is a sample po. Ayan, sample po yan ng mga students. Ayan, ito po yung mga done students. And, ito naman po yung mga students not done. Okay. So, nandun po sa atin ay turned in. Okay. Turned in. Kapag po turned in, ay done. Okay. Adding a co-teacher. So, bakit mag-a-add ng co-teacher? So, hindi naman po ito necessary. Ano? So, bakit lang, o ano lang tong option na to? Bakit mag-a-add pa ako ng teacher sa classroom ko? So, pwede naman po iyon kung gusto niyo, halimbawa po kayong dalawa ay parehong science teacher. Okay? So, pwede niyo pong makita kung ano yung ginagawa ni teacher. Okay? Nakukuha po ba yun? So, andito po siya. Okay. So, balik tayo kay Ayan. Ito po siya. Add teacher. Doon po tayo kay people tab. Okay, nakukuha po ba? Add teacher. So, ita-type lang po ulit natin kung sino yung, halimbawa po, Alona dot Tayaw at DepEd .gov.ph. Ayun, si Ma'am Alona. Ayan, invite. So, ayan. So, dito po, yun. So, magkakaroon po ng notification kay Ma'am Alona sa kanyang email address na ini-invite ko siya dito as collaborator. No? Pwede po kayong dalawa ay mag-collaborate doon sa classroom. Pero, meron din po tayong restriction. Yun pong inad natin na teacher, hindi po niya magagalaw at hindi po niya madidelete kung ano man po yung mga files o kung sino man pong estudyante niyo sa classroom. Okay po ba tayo doon? Maliwanag po ba yun? Pero she or he can help the teacher in collaboration. Ano po, lalo na sa mga estudyante. Makakatulong po at magtutulungan po silang dalawa. Pwede po iyon. Pero again, sa mga files, sa mga students, wala pong kinalaman o wala pong pwedeng gawin si added teacher. Okay po ba? Ayan, malapit na po tayo sa katotohanan. Ayan. Need to view, restore, or delete a class. So halimbawa po, hindi na natin kailangan si klase. Okay, halimbawa po, hindi na natin kailangan si klase. Paano natin siya i-delete? I-delete natin si classroom. Halimbawa po, punta tayo kay baka po ma-delete ko ay yung aking ano. Balik po ako kay classroom, ha? Ayan. So, paano po kung may isang student na ako dito. Ay, yun, si Sir pala. Okay. Paano natin i-delete ang ating classroom? Pwede ba natin ma-delete ang classroom? O si estudyante muna. Si estudyante muna. Halimbawa, naku, hindi ko ito estudyante. Napa-enroll sa akin. So, ano po ang gagawin natin? Ako, ayan po. Ang aking time. Pasensya na. Talagang technical po. Okay, click lang po natin yan. Email student, tapos delete po natin siya. Okay? Pero dapat ito ay may delete. Bakit nawawala si delete? Okay. Ba't nawala si delete? So, andyan lang po dapat siya. Okay, actions. Ayan. Yan. So, i-click lang po natin siya and then remove po natin. Okay, sir, i-remove ko po muna kayo dito, ah. So, are you sure you want to remove this student from the class? So, if you are sure, okay, remove po natin siya. Ayun. So, ganun po mag-delete ng ating mga students. Okay? Okay. Okay. Aha. So, ayun. So, ano po itong mga draft na to? Bakit may mga draft pa? So, ito po yung mga nasa stream natin. Pwede po nating i-reuse yung mga nasa stream natin para hindi po tayo type na ng type. Okay? Nasa stream lang po yun sa announcements natin. So, hindi naman to masyado ginagamit, the draft, kasi tayo po ay masipag po tayo mag-type ng mga announcements at para panibagong announcement palagi almost every day. So, yun po. Ito po ay ipopost ng kinauukulan, para po doon sa mga, kung gusto nyo pa, kung kayo nakukulangan dahil kulang na 1 hour po tayo. So, ito po yung mga links na pwede nating puntahan to help you and to answer your other questions po na hindi natin masasagot by this time. And of course, ito po yung ating paki-type po sa inyong mga laptops. Okay, o kaya paki-picturean po muna. Okay, so this is the link po. Okay, para po kayo ay makapag-submit ng inyong output. So, ang hinihingi lang po dun sa output na yan ay 2 screenshot of your classroom. Okay, 2 screenshots po na inyong classroom. Kayo na po ang bahala kung saang part doon. Kung sa part ba ng stream, kung sa part ba ng students nyo, sa part ba ng grades, kayo po ang bahala kung aling part ng inyong classroom ang inyo pong i-screenshot. So, that ends my session po. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng nakinig. Maraming salamat po sa lahat po ng visitors natin. Back to you, Ma'am Daisy.
Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Cindy. Napakaliwanag ng iyong paliwanag. Pero sa tulad kong senior citizen, kailangan dito ay 5 buwan bago ma-buwan. Anyway,
Tama.
we are willing naman to learn.
Dapat din may mga assistant.
We are willing to learn.
Kaya po nyo yan. Kaya po nating lahat yan.
Yes. Sa lahat ng mga participants, thumbs up. Kay Ma'am Guse, pakita nga yung pag-thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Guse. Post tayo.
Maraming salamat po. Opo,
Yes.
I'm just a text, a chat away sa mga queries po at mga lahat-lahat. Hanggat makakaya po aking kayong tutulungan.
Yes, good. At sa ating CID, kay Ma'am Lorna Medrano, sa mga EPS, PDS, thank you so much for joining the webinar.
Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng visitors. Co-teachers, thank you po.
Adam, sa na mag-present, pwede. No, Adam.
Okay. Now let's move on to the next speaker this morning. Ready? Ready na, Ma'am Mohana?
Yes, ma'am. Mag-present lang ako.
The floor is yours. Go ahead, Ma'am.
Okay, sandali ha. Okay, good morning, everyone. I am here to present the topic, assessment in the new normal environment. But before I proceed, I'd like to acknowledge our visitors, sa lahat-lahat po sa inyo. Di ko na po isa-isahin. Good morning and welcome po. So, as what Sir Ed had said, walang forever sa pandemic. Sana asok po. Ano pa? Naririnig po ba ako?
Yes po, yes po.
Okay, salamat. Then Sergio, as I remember, sinabi niya sa ating kahapon na there is one thing permanent on earth and it is change. So, harapin natin ang changes as a challenge sa new normal environment. Na po. Okay? So, my talk or my topic is obtained from the file by Ma'am Maria Fe Bautista. I acknowledge her contribution that I am using it now. Okay, so we are facing the most challenging stage of education, that the twist of all of this comes to us. Yan ay sinabi sa atin ng ating SDS during our seminar. Okay, so let's have to move on. So at the end of the session, the participants are expected to have, number one, review of what is assessment, its different types and guiding principles. Next is the enlightenment of the appropriate assessment to be utilized in the different learning modalities. So the principle or the guiding principle we have in this process of assessment is based on DepEd Order number 8, wherein classroom assessment here is hindi ko mabasa. Wait. Is the internal classroom assessment is an integral part of the na-hide kasi siya. Integral part of curriculum implementation. Okay, asensya na, live talaga to ha. Yung nga sabi ni Ma'am Cindy. Okay, what is assessment? So, ang assessment ay ginagamit lagi natin ito. Ano nga ba ito? At ano ang purpose nito? Okay? So, assessment is a process that is used to keep track of learners' progress in relation to learning standards and in the development of 21st century skills, to promote self-reflection and personal accountability among students about their own learning, and to provide basis for the profiling of students' performance on the learning competencies and standards of the curriculum. Various kinds of assessment shall be used appropriately for different learners who come from diverse contexts, such as cultural background and life experiences. Yes, this is true. Dahil lalong-lalo na sa ating eskwelahan, sa ating PABI and HS, we have different kinds of students came from different places. Usually nga, maliban sa paligid-ligid lang natin, sa neighboring towns natin and barrios, we have some students who transfer here from other regions. So, diverse assessment process must be applied. Okay po. So, assessment allows the teachers to track and measure learners' progress and adjust instructional process according to their needs. So this also update the parents. Okay. Now, we have here classroom assessment. What is classroom assessment? Classroom assessment is the process of gathering evidence of what a learner knows, what the learner understands, and what the learner is able to do. So, what they knows or what a learner knows, anong naunawaan, anong natutunan, understands, naunawaan, at kayang gawin. So, we have one formative assessment. This is an ongoing process to provide learners with immediate feedback on how well they are learning. Results of this assessment are documented but not included in computing grades. So this is usually done, this formative assessment is usually done during the lesson proper or the the learning process or the teaching process. Usually, this is done during assimilation, but this also shall be done before, during, or after the teaching process. Okay? So, summative assessment is the other one. So, this is used to measure whether learners have met the content and performance standards, and the results of this are used as basis for computing grades. So, kasali na ito sa grades. Unlike the formative assessment na this is just an assessment of what has learned during the process of teaching during the day. But the summative assessment is computed as the basis for the grades of the students. So this is usually made or done after the unit or quarter. Ano? After a unit or a quarter. Okay? Let's go next. Now, in classroom assessment, formative and summative assessment can be done individually or collaboratively. So, individual assessment enables learners to demonstrate independently what has been learned in pieces.
Hello,
Unit
Ma'am.
po. Yes po.
Ma'am, pwede po saglit. Pause tayo ng konti.
Oh,
Okay
yes
lang.
po.
Okay lang,
Okay.
Ma'am.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, let's pause for a while. Hingan muna natin ng konting mensahe ang CID Chief, si Dr. Lorna Medrano. Welcome, ma'am, sa webinar. Hello, Ma'am Medrano.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Pasensya na po kayo. Medyo sabay-sabay yung aking ina-attendan ngayon. I am listening to you. And at the same time, I am attending the National House Training sa Central Office ngayon din. So sabay-sabay. Kaya nag-message na lang po ako doon sa ating chat na alam ko na tayong lahat ay masyadong matindi ang challenge na ito, pero sa inyong ginagawa pong commitment at dedication na alam kong nasa inyong lahat, mapapagtagumpayan natin ito. Congratulations, Sir Joe. This is the very first school-based training that I have witnessed. And to all the teachers, maraming salamat. Ang sabi nga lagi natin, pasensya lang, konting pasensya, magbabaon ng maraming pasensya, magbabaon ng perseverance, kasi ito lang yung panahon na alam ko naman na matatapos din. Napakatindi ng hamon sa ating lahat, pero sana po ay nadudoon lagi ang pag-unawa natin. Nandoon lagi yung pasensya natin. Sa mga darating na panahon, alam kong mas pag malapit na talaga ang pasukan, mas dobling pressure ang kakaharapin natin, syempre mula sa mag-aaral at mula sa mga magulang. Pero sa ginagawa nating paghahandang ito, alam ko nakakayanin natin lahat. So, mga kasama, unahin natin ang kaligtasan. Yan ang lagi namin sinasabi. Unahin natin ang kaligtasan ng bawat isa. Pero naroon lagi yung pag-asa natin na huwag mawawala sa ating mga puso at sa ating mga isipan. Naroon lagi yung pag-asa na tayo ay makakaraos din sa ating nararanasan ito. Maraming salamat and congratulations to all of you.
Very much, Ma'am Medrano. Thank you very much. Marami na nga po talaga kaming baon. Malaki ng aming bag na ng baon. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma'am Medrano. Sana nga po malusutan na natin lahat ng problema na ito. Okay po. Ma'am Daisy, pwede na pong mag-proceed.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. So, let's go on. So, dito tayo, na sa classroom assessment na po tayo. Wherein we are dealing with individual assessment. po. Nakausap na lang po mga kasama yung ating mga microphone dahil paki-off na lang po yung ating mga phones. Okay, mga mic. Okay, thank you. Then, as what I have said, individual assessment enables learners to demonstrate independently what has been learned through check-up, quizzes, unit tests, written output, performances, and quarterly assessment. So this is done by the student alone by himself. Ano? So ang kanyang performance dito ang involved. And on the other side here, the collaborative assessment, wherein collaborative assessment allows learners to support each other's learning to produce evidence of their learning through discussions, games, group activities, and creation of projects. So since we are in pandemic time and we are learning from home, no, yung mga students natin, it doesn't mean na sila ay with their classmates alone. So pwede naman dito, according to Ma'am Fe Bautista, na ang mga kasamahan niya dito sa group ay mga parts of the family, mga kapatid, parents, or mga peers niya doon sa loob ng bahay, mga kasamahan. Ano po? So, it doesn't mean na, pero pwede rin silang magkaroon ng collaborative assessment through this what we have. No, pwede rin yung nag-Google Meet din ang mga grupo so they can have that type of assessment as a group. Ano po? Okay, so naririnig pa rin ho ako, ha? Okay po. So, formative assessment. So, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na it shall be done before, during, and after the lesson. So, paano nga ba? So, learner before the lesson, learner understands lesson's purpose and identifies what they know about the topic. Ayun, ano? So dito ay ginagawa natin usually ito as pre-test, ano? So the teacher here determines what the learner knows and can do. So may mga activity naman tayong ginagawa kung minsan na it is not only just before the start of the unit or before the start of the quarter, but sometimes we do it also before the start of the lesson, wherein we want to test whether among the students, sino ang may background na, sino ang may previous knowledge about the topic or the lesson we are to deal. So during the lesson, paano naman? So monitors, the learner here is monitoring, so the learner monitors one's progress. So, during the lesson, makita natin dito na ang bata ay nagpe-perform or hindi ng maayos. Ano po? So, the teacher here tracks learning progress in comparison to formative assessment results before the lesson. So, ano ba, consistent ba ang kanyang reaction during the assessment before the lesson, or very cooperative ba siya, performing ba siya, or passive lang siya. So we can assess learners in that manner po. So after the lesson, so the learner here recognizes whether they have met the learning objectives. So ito na yon, after teaching na po ito, no? So, makikita dito ng teacher whether learning objectives have been met. Na po. Ako, nag-ingayan na po ang mga aso sa labas. Alright, so let's go to other forms of assessment. We have here number 1, the diagnostic assessment, which helps to tell the teacher and the student how much they know and don't know about an upcoming topic. This helps to inform the teachers in lesson planning and identify areas may need more or less time spent on. So, dito natin malalaman as teachers kung ano ang dapat nating bibigyan ng malalim na pansin sa mga lesson na ibibigay natin, no? Through this diagnostic assessment. Dahil ito ay ginagawa before the topic is introduced, no? Okay? So, let's go on. Baka maubusan mamaya ng oras ang kasunod. Other form here is traditional assessment. These assessment practices reflect what students are able to recall from memory through various means, such as multiple choice, true or false, fill in the blanks, and matching type questions. Okay? So, ito yung mga sinauna natin ginagamit na usually sa ngayon ay ginagamit pa rin natin kahit papano, pero not at all times. Ano po? So, kailangan naman natin balikan minsan ang mga past types or previous types of assessment dahil nakakatulong din po. Ano po? Okay. So, authentic assessment. So, this assessment assesses students' ability to use what they have learned. It occurs when the authenticity of students' learning have been observed. It requires information from a variety of sources such as content, work samples, observation during class activities, and conferences with students. So makita natin dito ang mga bata sa pagiging creative nila, sa pagiging cooperative nila, and we say na yung kanilang performance ay actually came from their own ability. So, we will go deeper to authentic assessment. So, characteristics of authentic assessment. So, it's realistic. So, hindi lang ito yung gawa-gawa lang. So, it comes from the reality of life, reality of the lesson, and so on. So it requires judgment and innovation. So dito makikita natin ang ability of the student to judge and to innovate. So it asks the students to do the subject. So sila mismo ang gagawa ng kanilang sariling kasagutan or how do we call it? Answers to the problems. So it replicates or simulates the context in which adults are tested in the workplace, in civic life, and in personal life. Yon. So dito natin makikita ang katauhan ng ating estudyante. So it assesses the student's ability to efficiently and effectively use a repertoire of knowledge and skill to negotiate a complex task. So, makita natin ang abilidad dito ng ating mga estudyante kung paano nila isolve ang isang problema. It allows appropriate opportunities to rehearse, practice, consult resources, and get feedback on a refined performance of products. Okay. Okay. So let's go on. So let's have kinds of authentic assessment. So we have one, performance assessment. This assessment elicits and evaluates actual student performances. Okay? So this is very self-explanatory. So it may be products, drawings, science experiments, term papers, poems, solution to authentic problems, and the like. Ano po? So yun ang mga pwedeng gawin na assessment or result ng yun ang pwedeng gawin ng mga bata in terms of their answers or solution to their problems. So it may be behavior, so time trial for running a mile, reciting a poem, acting tryouts, dancing, and so on. Ano po? So, hindi lang paper and pen test. Sinabi ito kahapon ni, sino nga ba ang speaker kahapon? Si Ma'am Mama Naog, si Ma'am Fabia. So, hindi lang paper and pen test ang basihan lagi ng performance ng ating mga bata. Napakadami. It's varied. It is varied. We have so many ways on how to test their ability. Okay. Sandali po. Kami yung mamaya. Mamaya. Pwede kayo mag- Kami mamaya na umalis. Okay. So, may interruption lang ako. Ano po? So, we have here portfolio assessment. So, a collection of student samples representing or demonstrating student academic growth can include formative and summative assessment. So, dito ang kanyang collection of his works, ano po, from formative to summative ay kasama sa portfolio. So, it may contain written works, journals, maps, charts, survey, group report, and other such items. So, ginagawa na natin ito dati pa. Ano po? So, inuulit-ulit lang sa atin kung ano nga ba ang mga iyon. So, they are systematic, purposeful, and meaningful collection of students' work in one or more subject areas. Okay? So, siyempre, we will make it sorted by area naman siya para hindi naman tayo ligaw mag-check ng mga teachers. But this is a concrete evidence for the performance of the learners. Ano po itong portfolio assessment na ito? Okay po. Then we have here rubric. Ano nga ba ang rubric? So it is a scoring guide that seeks to evaluate students' performance based on the sum of a full range of criteria rather than a single numerical score. Yes. So ang performance ng bata dito hindi lang single numerical score na 1 point, 2 points. So ibig sabihin in every result he made, so meron tayong score na kung complete ito, kung medyo kulang-kulang ng konti ang kanyang performance. So may kaukulang score ang bawat gawa niya. Hindi yung sinauna na pag mali, totally mali. Pag tama, totally tama. Ano po? So dito, kahit nagsulat ka lang ng kaunti, na kahit nga kung minsan ay hindi naman related na, kahit pinakamababang score, meron na po ang bata. Ano po? So it is a working guide for students and teacher, usually handed out before the assignment begins in order to get students to think about the criteria on which their work will be judged. So yes, so dito po, Ana. So, kaya ito ay ina-announce ng teacher before an activity para inspired naman ang mga bata na, oy, gusto ko, perfect ako dito. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, makita niya kung ito ang performance na ipakita niya, he will get a perfect score. Kung kulang-kulang or ano. So i-try niya yon, hahabulin ng bata yon. Ano po? Okay. Now, let's have the journal assessment. So this refers to students' ongoing record of expressions, experiences, and reflections on a given topic. So, this will come from within the student. Ano po? Dahil ito ay magiging reflection nila or record of their experiences. Ano ang kanilang naranasan, ano ang kanilang naramdaman, ano ang kanilang reaction. So dito yon sa journal na output nila makikita. Ano po? So, there are two types of journal assessment. One, which students write with minimal direction what he or she thinks or thinking and or feeling. Ano po? And the other requires students to compete with specific written assignment and establishes restrictions and guidelines necessary to accurately accomplish the assigned task. So sa una, this is just with minimal direction wherein ang bata dito ay i-express niya ang kanyang nasa isip at ang kanyang reaction or feelings about the problem. While the other here will, the child or the learner here will be given a specific instruction or assignment, then may mga, kumbaga may ruling ito and guidelines wherein the student here is going to accomplish. Ano po? So journals can evolve different types of reflecting writings, writing, drawing, painting, and role-playing. So dito na i-express ng bata ang kanyang emotion as what I have said, experiences, and the like. Okay po. So types of journal assessment. Ano po? So reflective journal and synthesis journal. So ano nga ba ito? Ano po? So in reflective journal, dito sinasabi na nilalagay ng bata dito ang kanyang observation, like on what happened. Then his feelings or emotions or inner reaction, how do I feel about it? Then his achievement here, on the other end, or at the end, what did I learn? Ano po? Ito ay sa reflective journal. Sa synthesis journal naman po, what I did, what I learned, how can I use it? So sa what I did na sinasabi, siguro, not siguro, this is part of participation he made. Ano po? So what I learned is on the knowledge he acquired. And how can I use it is on the way he applies it to reality of life. Ano po? So, let's go on. So, assessment on the new normal environment. Okay. So, sinasabi nga kahapon ni Sergio na education in the new normal or learning and teaching and learning in the new normal is not the exit point of K-12. It is still part of the K-12. Dahil lahat ng mga tinalakay natin, lahat ng mga sinabi natin ng mga speakers ay nanggaling talaga sa K-12 program. Only may mga modification lang just to adjust with this pandemic situation. Ano po? So, dito tayo ngayon sa assessment on the new normal. So, sinabi kahapon ni Ma'am Tess ang different learning modalities. Ano po? So, we have here different modalities. Na? So, face-to-face, na? Wherein limited number of learners go to school, homeschool study. Ito yung ating modular type, ano po, nasa bahay gagawin ng bata, no? Provides learners with equal access to quality basic education at home to be facilitated and by qualified parents, guardians, or tutors. So, paano kung walang qualified? Kawawa yung bata. Ano po? So, distance learning, this is delivered through different modes. Na? We have online platforms, educational program on TV and radio, and printed modules. So, we are working. So, our division office is working on and including the regional office, are working with the printed modules that hopefully shall be done and shall be available before the start of the actual classes on August 24. Okay, then we have the blended learning here, where this allows for the combination of face-to-face, online, and modular learning delivery. Nabubulol na po. Okay, so let's go on para mas lalo nating maintindihan. Ano po? So the guiding principle on this is the DepEd Order number 12, series of 2020. Ano? Adoption of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, school year 2020-2021 in light of the COVID-19 public health emergency. Ito po ang talagang pinagkakaabalahan. Pagkatapos ng webinar na ito po ang pagkakaabalahan ng mga head teachers at ng ating mahal na principal. Ito po, Sergio. Okay. So, classroom assessment, namely, formative and summative assessment shall be conducted by the teachers to track and measure learners' progress and to adjust instruction accordingly. So this shall be done through paper-based, offline or online assessment format, whichever is appropriate to the context and needs of the learners, to enable them to participate fully in the assessment process and be assessed fairly. The last 2 days of its academic quarter shall be devoted to the administration of quarterly assessment. So, yun pa rin naman ang ginagawa natin. The only difference is that this will be done offline or online. So, let's go on. So, applicable assessment for different modalities. So, we have on the face-to-face manner. One, we have formative assessment, summative assessment, authentic assessment, performance, portfolio, rubrics, and journal. So, under yun ang authentic assessment. Ano po? So, yun ang pwedeng i-apply sa face-to-face learning modality. Ano po? Let's go on. Sa iba kaya, ano kaya ang pwede pa? Ano po? So, in homeschool study, tama ba ako? Okay, yes. The same. Formative assessment, summative assessment, authentic assessment, performance-based assessment, or performance, portfolio, rubrics, and journal. So, parang walang pagkakaiba. Ano po, mga kasama? Then we have blended learning. Ano naman ang pwede? So, walang pagkakaiba. Ganun pa din. Formative, summative, authentic, which includes performance, portfolio, rubrics, and journals. Okay? Ano kaya ang sunod? Sa distance learning, yun. Ano po? So, formative assessment, summative, authentic, performance, under authentic, performance, portfolio, rubrics, and journals. So, pare-pareho ang process ng pag-deliver. Ano po? Now, let's go to the guiding principles in the assessment of learning. So, ano ang mga guiding principles na ito? Okay po. So, okay. We have number 1. Assessment should be well aligned with students' objectives, competencies, and educational standards. Yes, kahit naman noon pa, ginagawa na natin ito. So, ang assessment kailangan ay tali doon sa ating objectives. Ano po? Sa objectives of the lesson. Curriculum guide, sa competencies, sa standard competencies. So, ang pagkakaiba lang natin ngayon, na ang ating maliban dyan ay may idadagdag tayo. Yun ang sabi ni Sergio. Ang idagdag natin dito ay ang milk. Ano po? Yun. Tapos ang i-consider din natin ang ating kumbaga kung naka-follow ito sa kanyang pagtuturo doon sa ating idea process or idea principles. Ano po? So kung doon tayo kukuha, but most of all, it will be based on our milk and our bow. Ano po? Then let's go on. For the principle 2, the formative assessment needs to scaffold students in the summative assessment. Yes. Ano po? So, magiging dito, the summative assessment here, kailangan doon din magmumula, ano po, kung ano ang mga nakuha sa formative assessment. Only that summative assessment is just a summary of all taken lessons during the entire quarter. Po. Then assessment should become more like instructions. Yes. Ano po? So, it is said that instruction is part of the test, always. So, kailangan during the assessment, proper instruction shall be given. Then, parang ano lang sila, kumbaga, during, with the guidance of the parents, during the assessment, parang tuloy pa rin na pinauunawa sa kanila kung anong meron dyan. Po. Okay? Assessment results need to be used by teachers to help students learn better. Yes, sinabi ko nga kanina na ang assessment ay nakakatulong para malaman ng teacher kung ano ang kanyang ito magiging basihan ng kanyang lesson planning at yung mga approaches na gagawin niya at saka yung kung ano ang tutumbukin niyang bahagi ng lesson to help students learn better. So, assessment is not used to threaten and intimidate students. So, hindi natin kailangan panakot ito sa bata. Ano po? So, hindi natin sabihin, hoy, pag hindi ka pumasa dito, ikaw ay ano, ganun. So, no, it's not. So, we must always be friendly even during assessment. Okay? Now, we have the teacher should encourage learning community to engage in assessment. Yes, ano po. So, sa totoo lang, I have been a teacher for more than 20 years. Nakita ko rin na during assessment, may mga estudyante na talagang may mga estudyante na parang mahina ang urge niya para umattend ng assessment. Kailangan ma-motivate ito ng teacher, then they should be encouraged well. Lahat mag-participate. Ano po? Then, assessment is a technical competency. Yes. Ano po? Dahil dito mini-measure ang kakayahan ng bata. Ano po? So, ang kanyang mga nagagawa, ang kanyang mga naiisip. Ano po? Okay po. Maingay ang aming mga aso. Okay. So, who should be involved in assessment? Ito na yon. Ano po? Dahil pandemic time tayo, sino nga ba? Paano? And how can we get the best results at tamang result talaga para sa mga bata natin? Sure ba na kanya to gawa? Paano natin malalaman? Kung may tanong kayo, kung ano man yon, di malalaman natin. So, who are involved here are the teacher, the student's peer, administrator, and the parents. Of course, the teacher is the one administering, and the student is the one taking, and the student peers here at home, the parents, yung mga ate kuya nila dyan. Okay, so ang ating administrator, si sir, at of course, the parents of the students. Okay? Ano pa nga bang sunod? How is the result of assessment communicated? So, noon, direct tayo dahil pagbigay ni teacher, kuha agad sa bata. Ano po? Ay ngayon, parang may pagkakaiba. May pagkakaiba nga. So, here, the parents are informed of the result of the assessment. Of course naman, ano po? So, kailangan yon. So, here. How is the result of assessment communicated in the new normal? So the parent assists their child in learning and in giving the assessment provided by the teacher. So kung ano ang hindi maunawaan ni bata diyan na instruction or procedure ni teacher, si parent ngayon ang magpapaliwanag. Ano po? So the teacher here coordinates with the parent regarding the results or the result of the assessment. Ano po? So, alam ko may nasa isip na kayo dyan. Paano kung hindi si bata ang sasagot at si parent? Siyempre, tiyak mataas ang score ng bata. So, in this sense, ipaliwanag natin sa parent that they are just helping their children to learn, not to cheat. And in the way na dadayain nila yon, they are not helping their children. Yan ang sinabi ni Ma'am Bautista during our webinar. Po. Thank you, Ma'am Bautista, sa mga kaalaman. Hindi ko man matumbasan or maabot ang iyong energy sa pag-deliver ng topic na ito. I hope kahit paano may ma-share din ako. Okay po. So in summary, a fair assessment is one which students are given, parang malapit na tayo sa katotohanan nito, equitable opportunities to demonstrate what they know and can do. Ayun, ano po. So sila na mismo ang makakaalam ng kanilang naunawaan at pwedeng gawin. Ano po. Assessment is not only for grading or ranking purposes. Its goal is to inform instruction by providing teachers with information to help them make good educational decisions. Yes. So, kung minsan dyan tayong mga teacher na papaisip, bakit na ba mababa ang score ng aking klase ngayon? Bakit nga ba sa kabilang klase ay ayos doon noong isang araw? So, doon tayo mapag-isip, paano natin ito gawin? Ano po? So, assessment applied in whatever learning modality should gear toward the achievement of the learners. Yes, whatever modality we have, kailangan magiging daan ang ating assessment para magkaroon ng magandang achievement ang ating mga estudyante. So, here, let us be guided by this. Ano po? Na better assessment means better learning. Better teaching means better learning. And better learning means better students. And lastly, better students means better opportunities for a better life. Ano po? Hindi ko rin makalimutan ang statement ni Sir Homer Mendoza na we should, itong sinabi niya, we should bring our learners to their future better than what we have today. Kung tayo man ay humaharap ng krisis sa ngayon, kung paano natin itulusutan whatever crisis will come to the life of our learners someday, hoping that they can do better than what we can do today. Okay? So, for references of what I have said, kung hindi man nyo naunawaan, meron kayong gustong i-dig deeper, ito ang mga references. Ano po, nandito lang sa aking PowerPoint. Okay? And lastly, thank you very much sa inyong pakikinig. Sana po hindi kayo na-bored, hindi kayo nagutom. It's already 10:05 in our clock. Panay ang aking tingala dahil baka ako'y sobrang labis. Thank you very much. God bless us all. Stay safe. Salamat sa mga bisita. Thank you, Sir Joe. Thank you, fellow head teachers. Thank you, Sir Adams. Thank you sa lahat ng mga tulong. Thank you, Ma'am Daisy.
Okay,
Thank you,
God bless you all.
Thank you, Ma'am Mamuhana. Okay, let's pause for a while. Let's have this for a while. And we will be right back. Okay, we're back. Down to the last speaker this morning. I am giving the floor to Ma'am Alma Garcia Di Maano. Go ahead, Ma'am Alma.
Okay, good morning po sa ating lahat. Magandang tanghali po. Naririnig po ba ako ng maayos?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ayan,
Yes.
okay. Thank you very much po. So before I start po, I would like to thank po muna, welcome and thank all our visitors for today. We are so fortunate that this webinar was graced by the presence of a lot of personnel from SD Olipa, headed po by our very own chief, Dr. Lorna Armedrano, the EPS of different learning areas in both our PSDS in the secondary, Doc Ed Mercado and Doc Vanjie Escabel. Welcome po to Fernando Urbis Integrated National High School. At sana po ay itong aming ginagawang ito is really in congruence with what would you like for the entire division to do. And sana nga po ay we could really effect change and help our teachers to be able to cope up to the new normal. Ayan. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. At mga kasama, alam kong kayo ay gutom na. Pero pagtiisan niyo po muna ako bago kayo mag-take ng inyong lunch. Don't worry po because my talk is the last because it is the shortest of all. Ngayon lang po ako nakapandaya, pinakamaikli po ang aking topic for this afternoon. Okay po? Nakikita po ba ang aking pinoproject?
Hindi ba? Hindi, ma'am.
Yan po, nag-present na po.
Yan.
Okay na po. Nag-process na po siya? Okay. So the topic that I was assigned to discuss for this webinar rollout is all about models for change. This was originally given to us principals and head teachers in the division of Lipa by the EPS of the English department, Dr. Marifetti Morcilla. Okay, actually, the content of this particular talk is mostly about instructional leadership. This is intended for principals, head teachers, and even master teachers, all those people who are really into technical assistance. Ano po? But in the course of our discussion, I would try my best po to contextualize a bit the explanation and align it with the perspective of the teachers. So what are we expecting po after this particular talk? The objectives are this: for us to understand how to provide technical assistance, be familiar with various strategies in providing technical assistance in the new normal environment, and give the strands in the teaching-learning process wherein technical assistance can be applied. Alam po natin lahat, nasabi nga nila, para tayong nanganganay. Ano po? Everybody is trying to cope up with what's new. And all of these changes are abruptly given to us. Wala naman po kasi nag-expect na we will be hit by this pandemic. Ano po? So pare-pareho po tayong nangangapa. How are we going to deliver our instruction in this particular setup in education? Okay. But at the end of this, I would also like our teachers to have these takeaways. Know what to expect from our leaders in terms of providing technical assistance. At least po, maunawaan po natin bakit very insistent ang ating mga head teachers or ang ating mga master teachers, no, to have us do something. Halimbawa, your master teacher is asking you, halika na, tayo na mag-usap-usap, paano ba yung work plan natin? Ano bang gagawin natin? No? Or your head teacher is trying to give you talks, lectures about something. Okay? mas mabuti po na maunawaan natin why are your instructional leaders so energetic and so persuasive and giving us all of these things because lahat po ng ito ay bahagi po ng ating technical assistance. Also, to be familiar with the various strategies in providing technical assistance in the new normal environment. Dati po, if you would remember, after having a classroom observation, we go into a post-conference and then into technical assistance. At the same time, meron po kami yung tinatawag na minsan ay walkthrough lang or pinupuntahan tayo ng ating mga head teachers or ng ating master teachers or ng principal, sit in your class just for a bit and observe just a certain aspect of your learning delivery. Ano po? And then after that po, technical assistance will be given. Sa panahon pong ito, we cannot do that anymore. So I would like you to be familiar with the various strategies that your instructional leaders can give you in the area of technical assistance. And at the end, understand how one can benefit from technical assistance. Ito po yung isang gusto ko sana ay ma-internalize po natin, teachers, that there is no reason for us to fear, to abhor, or to avoid technical assistance, especially right now. Lahat po ng bagay na nasa harapan natin, maaaring hindi bago, but we are going to apply it into a new context. Remember that we will be dealing with remote learners. Our principal, our head teachers, our master teachers are not in their offices. Dati po, pag may kailangan tayo, punta lang tayo sa opisina. Right now, that is not the case. So I would like you to understand how crucial and how important technical assistance is. Sana po let us not see technical assistance as an affront to our own practice, lalo na po doon sa ating mga seasoned na. Alam ko po na most of you ay malayo na po ang nalakbay. But right now, pare-parang po tayo. We may be on equal footing. Kasi hindi pa po nangyayari ito sa, I don't know po, but in my lifetime, never pa po itong nangyari sa Department of Education. So anyway, sa dulo po ng talk na ito, sana po all of this will be taken away by our teachers. According to Simon Sinek, okay, vision is a destination, and that is true. Okay, it is a fixed point to which we focus all our effort. Whether in our personal lives or we as a Department of Education, we as a region for a Calabarzon, we as SD Olipa, and we as Fernando Urban Integrated National High School, we all have a vision for our learners. And that is ultimately to provide the best quality education that will be most accessible to all our learners. Iisa po tayo dyan. Yun lang po ang gusto nating marating, na makapagbigay tayo ng isang dekalidad na edukasyon na maaaring makuha ng most number of our learners. Okay. And the strategy is a route. It is an adaptable path to get us where we want to go. Maaari pong iisa ang ating layunin, iisa po ang ating fixed point that we are focused on, pero maaari pong iba't iba naman yung landas na ating dinadaanan. Remember, there is no one solution that would fit all. Ibang learners, ibang strategy, ibang daan. No? In the context po of FAB, there are three prevailing learning delivery modalities that our students and their parents seem to prefer. Those are distance learning with online, distance learning with modules, and distance learning with the combination of online and modules. So ano man po ang magiging uri ng ating estudyanteng hahawakan sa hinaharap? These are the three kinds of learning delivery modes that we could expect from them. And I know along the way, marami po tayong makikitang obstacles, marami po tayong makikitang barriers for us to give them the education that we would want to give them. At dito po papasok ang technical assistance. Hindi po natin maiaalis na may mga mistakes tayo along the way, lalo na nga po at ito ay bago. Okay. According po to Republic Act number 9155, mas kilala po ito ng mga educational leaders as AURA. Ano po? Sabi niya, as school head, as key leaders in the country's education system are indispensable in achieving the government's aim to provide quality basic education, and that is true. Although, it is the teachers who have a direct contact with our learners, and they are the very person who delivers education. Hindi po natin maiaalis ang role na ginagampanan ng ating mga school leaders. Okay? It is up to them to see to it how fit, how qualified, how equipped our teachers are to be able to deliver quality education. Okay, so in one way or another, pagdating po sa kataas-taasan, the question of what quality education were we able to provide, yun po ay unang itinatanong sa ating mga school leaders. Ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina, it is very heavy on the shoulder that our school head has the authority, the responsibility, and the accountability for taking care of people in school. It is up to them how to promote quality teaching and learning. Kaya po malaki ang ginagampanan ng ating technical assistants, because how can we be sure that learning and teaching process is being delivered in the most appropriate way that would fit our learners? Di po ba? So, hindi man po kami ang tuwirang nagtuturo sa ating mga bata, we see to it naman po that our teachers embody the principles that we have in terms of teaching, and they are applying practices that we see fit to our learners. Promote quality teaching and learning. Ito po yung pinaka-core, ito po yung pinakakaluluwa ng teaching, ng technical assistance. So we of course believe that those leaders are equipped with knowledge, skills, and attitudes in providing technical assistance on instruction that relates to curriculum, practice, and performance. Paano po kami nagiging equipped? Because like you, we also receive technical assistance. And this morning nga po, a very big proof of how SD Olipa is given technical assistance is this one. Almost all, or maybe nga po all of our EPS in various learning areas are here. So we are expecting na if we are doing something that is not quite right or there is some areas of improvement, we will be hearing po from them. No? Kasi po, they have to see to it naman that we, as school leaders, are equipped naman po to lead, assist, mentor, or coach naman po our teachers. So ito po yung mga importanteng aspeto ng technical assistance, especially in this new normal. First thing is the curriculum. Bakit po importante ito? Paulit-ulit po natin sinasabi yesterday in the talk of Sir Jody Tular, binanggit niya rin, we are not leaving behind the curriculum of K-12. Ito pa rin po tayo. We just came up with the MELT or the most essential learning competencies. So if you need assistance in utilizing or understanding the MELT, or how to use enabling competencies, how to use enrichment competencies, how do we utilize BAW in Region 4A, you could always ask assistance from your teachers or your master teachers. And of course, practice. Ito po ay teaching pa din. Hindi po tayo lumalag. Although wala tayo sa tunay na classroom, we may be in a virtual classroom. Which means that we are still to apply various pedagogies. Ibig po pa sabihin, hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin ang collaborative, hindi na po ba natin pwedeng gamitin ang reflective or of constructivism? Hindi po. Lahat po ng pedagogies that we are familiar with, that we are already putting into practice can still be utilized, but in the context of remote learners. Yun po ang ating aaralin. Yun po ang pwede nating ihingi ng technical assistance on how we could implement or utilize these various pedagogies in the context po of remote learners. Paano nga po ba natin ilalagay ang collaborative gayong hindi naman natin nakikita ang ating mga bata? Sa loob nga po ng classroom, when we do collaborative activities, minamonitor pa natin sila by group, di ba? We tend to roam around, ask clarification from each group, monitor their progress, and things like that. Now, how are we going to do this task if we are managing remote learners? Yun po ang mga bagay na dapat natin pong tingnan. And of course, performance. How are teachers' performance being assessed? Siyempre po, pag sinabi yung performance assessment, nandiyan po ang ating classroom observations. According po to the division's office, hindi po ito mawawala. No, we are just waiting for the directives and the guidelines on how to do these things. But again, kung sa school po, hindi niyo po kami pinagsasarahan ng inyong pinto, pag po sinabi natin na magkakaroon tayo ng classroom observations, sana po, this time, ganun pa din. Ano po, do not deprive us of the link to join your virtual classrooms, because only this way can we see how you teach, and this is the only way on how we could suggest or recommend means of improvement. Ano po? Again, this is a new world for us because we are going to teach virtually. Okay. Next, can create a learner-centered environment that ensures access to inclusive, excellent, relevant, and liberating education. So ito po yung goal natin as a whole. Ano po? Yung sinasabi ko nga kanina. Mula sa DepEd National down to the Fernando Air Base, no? Ito po ang gusto natin, that we will be having a student-centered type of learning and teaching delivery. And then committed in providing instructional leadership towards improving competence among teachers and outcomes among learners. So nakikita niyo po dito, technical assistance gears toward improving the teachers so that the teachers can improve student outcomes. So it's just like a chain reaction. School focuses on developing high-quality instruction, developing a strong school culture, and ensuring job-embedded professional development for school personnel. That is according to Goldring in 2018. So hindi po natatapos. Nakikita niyo po kung gaano po kalawak ng nai-encompass ng technical assistance. It does not just include how you are teaching, how you are managing your classroom, but it could also include professional development technical assistance. Kaya naman po, laging sinasabi sa atin, we are being encouraged, ituloy mo yung pag-aaral mo, you go to master's school, doctoral school, or attend seminars, kagaya nga po nito. Laging binabanggit ni Ma'am Daisy, kanina pa, siya daw ay senior citizen na, hindi pa po, ilang taon pa po ang bibilangin dyan. But still, no? It's just so nice to see that even those on this stage, sabi nga ni Ma'am Cindy, the young adults that we have with us, no, are still very eager to attend webinars, no? Ma'am Pearl is still there, no po. One of the candidates for graduation po si Ma'am Pearl. But still, makikita niyo po sa accomplishments niya, she is still pursuing, attending different webinars outside of DepEd, and dito po sa ating mga school initiative upskilling. No? At yun po ang maganda. Technical assistance often varies. No? A common feature is the transfer of information and tools from one entity to another, especially na nga po in the new normal. When we were still in school, no, inside the school premises, we do technical assistance by agreeing on a predetermined schedule, kung kailan pupunta sa inyo ang inyong mga head teachers, the principals, or the master teachers, and then we confer. Nag-uusap po tayo sa isang place. No? Right now po, hindi ganun na mangyayari. So I would like you to be familiar with the different means, strategies that your head teachers will be thinking of just to be able to reach out to you. Kaya sana po, when they reach out to you, you respond naman po in a positive way also. Okay? Ayan. So the process of technical assistance, ito po siya. No? Technical assistance po is all about coaching, guiding, and empowering. This is the way we could have education management, we can provide access to quality and relevant education, we could provide and improve the management of the different aspects of the services that we do provide. At ganun din po ang pagmamanage ng school leaders, no, sa kanilang mga teachers. Okay? So may pagkakaiba pa po ba ang coaching, guiding, and empowering? Yes po. When talk about coaching, the best analogy is for a coach in an athletic game or sa mga laro or in sports. Ano po? Diba si coach naman po, hindi lang isang beses niya minimit ang kanyang player. The coach usually designs a work plan that he and yung kanyang kino-coach will be following, and they do have a goal. No? Ganun din po in coaching sa atin. When we sit down with our teacher for technical assistance, hindi po siya natatapos in one sitting. We talk about coaching, it includes or it encompasses a time period or a time frame kung kailan nila ideally mamimit yung kanilang goal. And then coaching, isa pa pong important aspect, hindi po natin sinasabay-sabay yung mga aspects of the teacher that needs improvement. Ano po, baka nang po ma-overwhelm si teacher sa dami ng kailangan niyang i-improve. No? Kailangan po isa-isa lang. No? For example, upon classroom observation, you will observe na mayroon tayong need to be improved in terms of managing our classroom. May kaunti tayong kailangan i-manage in terms of pedagogy. Mayroon tayong kailangan i-manage in terms of choosing the most appropriate activity for a particular set of learner. So kung yung pong tatlong iyan ay na-observe sa atin at lumabas po yan sa post-conference natin, okay, hindi po ina-advise na in one sitting, in a coaching process, sasabay-sabay din po natin sila. Ano po, we should set a specific goal, alin ang uunahin, and then a series of meetings, follow-up, feedbacking, and the like, para po ma-achieve yung goal. Halimbawa, unahin natin si pedagogy. So, yun po muna. And after that, another cycle of technical assistance were ensured. Okay. Guiding also po, it's like in guidance and counseling, no? As the need arises. Kung may pangangailangan po na paggabay ang ating teacher in whatever aspect of his or her profession, we are there to give it to them. So do not be hesitant po to ask for guidance. Okay. And lastly, of course, is empowering. Sinasabi po natin that technical assistance is a continuous process. Isa po siyang dire-diretsong proseso na hindi tumitigil. Just because learning or education is a continuous process, hindi po kasi tumitigil ang pagkatuto. Sabi nga natin, nobody is perfect. And each one of us, even us, no, na head teachers or master teachers, we still receive technical assistance from someone naman higher than us. No po? But at the end of it all, we should be empowered. Huwag naman po yung pagkatapos ng technical assistance, bukas, gano'n na ulit ang gagawin natin. Committing the same error. History repeats itself. Okay, wag naman po. Dapat po, the main purpose of technical assistance is to empower. Kita niyo po yung dalawang tao. Yung color blue, he is the one giving coaching and guidance. Okay? At pinipilit niyo pong hilahin paakyat yung yellow na tao. The purpose is so that at the end of it, they will be on the same footing. Magkapareho na po sila ng kaalaman, magkapareho po sila ng abilidad. So at the end of it, dapat you were able to empower the teacher. Sa dulo po, dapat kayo, you could be independent na in that particular aspect. And kung may iba pa pong aspeto na dapat paunlarin, that's another cycle of technical assistance. Wag naman po yung nag-coaching tayo ng isang semester, next semester, yun ulit kasi wala namang nabago. Okay, the ultimate goal of giving technical assistance is to empower. Ayan. So technical assistance po should be appropriate, relevant, and timely. Okay. Importante po ito. The very reason why we as instructional leaders are having walkthroughs, yung nadadaanan lang kayo sa labas ng inyong classroom, or doing classroom observations, or sometimes mainly checking your DLL, the main reason po is so that we could give appropriate technical assistance. One thing I would like to point out here is that even though we are doing all of this analysis, you as teachers know yourselves better. Alam niyo po kung saan kayo nangangailangan ng technical assistance. Before this pandemic issue, ang usapan po namin sa language department is that yung susunod kong technical assistance, yung the following school year, dapat bigyan nila ako ng list of things na gusto nilang ma-receive ang aking technical assistance. Kasi nga po, mas kilala niyo po ang inyong sarili at alam niyo po kung saan po kayo nahihirapan. Classroom observation po kasi is just one day in one quarter. And very well prepared pa po kayo. Kaya po madalas, very minimal din po yung nakikitang mali. May mga grading sheets nga po ako na COT rating sheets akong nakikita at nahawakan na lahat ay 7. I do not question that grade because I myself can also give that, no? Napakahuhusay po ng ating mga teachers. Kaya nga lamang po ay isang beses ko lamang po kayo nakikita doon. Kaya nga po ang challenge ko sa mga teachers, if Sir Joe will be going to you for technical assistance purposes, dalhin niyo sa pinaka-worst ng klase. Para po makita yung problema because maybe I won't be able to help you in that aspect. No, but maybe the principal could. No, baka po nangangailangan na ng higher authority and higher knowledge to be able to address the problem. Ano po, at po kayong mahiyang ipakita kung ano yung mga what goes wrong inside our classroom kasi that's real life. That's real life. At kung hindi po namin makikita yung mali, kung lagi pong ang makikita namin ay yung pinakamaganda, we cannot give you anything as an assistance. Kasi ang tingin po namin is already perfect. So, might as well voice out or give your head teachers an idea kung saan po kayong area nangangailangan ng technical assistance. If you would remember po, I conducted a research at the beginning po of this pandemic, no? Nung mabalitaan natin that education will be continuing distance learning, blended learning, and flipped classroom. How ready are the teachers? At nakita ko po doon, isa po kasi sa mga tanong sa survey, on what aspect are you expecting the school or the administration to help you? Okay, at nagbigay po kayo doon ng mga areas kung ano po yung hinihingi ninyo na technical assistance. At yun po i-forward ko kay Sir John. So just in case na meron pa pong ibang plans si Sir for us to be able to give all of us technical assistance, ay makukuha niyo po yung inyong point of view. Okay, ito pong webinar to is a very good example of a technical assistance. Okay, sabi ko nga po kanina, technical assistance is a process. Why is it a process? Because it follows a step. No? Ano po yung mga steps na sinusunod natin? No? Different head teachers, different educational leaders, okay, they follow their own strategy on how to go about this process. Wala naman po kasing mandated na steps on how to go about it. But as for me po, my first step is usually the SWOT analysis. I try my best to see the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the time frame that could be involved in this particular technical assistance process. Maganda po kasi na naibo-brought up din natin kay teacher, ano yung mga maganda niyang ginagawa. Okay? Hindi po porque maayos na yon at maganda na, hindi na natin ibo-brought up. Because sometimes, in our effort to concentrate on improving on one aspect, nalilimutan po natin at naiiwan naman natin yung magaganda na po nating ginagawa. We should be able to balance at mapagsabay po natin ang improvement and upgrading of those skills that we have that are already good. Okay, syempre, importante po yung makita din for me, ano yung opportunities for improvement na po pwede kong ma-provide kay teacher. Okay? And then, syempre, ano yung time frame? Hindi po pwedeng forever. Okay? Sa pandemic, walang forever. Sa technical assistance process, wala din po sana forever. No? Sana po nag-move on tayo from one cycle to another. Then after po this that's the time that we will be talking about the predetermined schedule on when to conduct technical assistance. There will be follow-ups. Okay? Mga ganyan po. Okay? But it certainly do follow certain steps. Okay. Siyempre po, there should be tools available to us. Ayan, ito po maganda. Mayroon po tayong available na tools that we could use in giving technical assistance. Sino po sa inyo ang nakahawak na or nakabasa na ng ating mga PPST packages? Meron po ba? Ayan. Kasi ang mga head teachers po ay pwede po natin yung gamitin. If, for example, during a classroom observation, napansin natin na yung integration into various discipline ang medyo kailangan i-improve ni teacher, we could give them the, I think, package number 2. Hindi po ako sure. Pero ganun po. No? We also have the TIP modules. Ayan, yung po mga bagong teacher. Ito po ay na-remind sa amin ni Sir Jo. TIP. Okay, the teacher induction program po is a kind of technical assistance that is given to our new teachers. Yan, natutuwa po ako kay Ms. Kim Heron. Nakikita ko every week sa kanya pong accomplishment report. Mayroon po siyang days, 1 or 2 days na laging allotment for reading the TIP modules. Before po magsarado ang paaralan, we already determined our schedule kung ano po yung isasabi niya sa akin during a certain time frame. Kaso nga po nagkaganito. So siguro, I would advise that we revisit our schedule for the TIP kasi baka po hingan tayo ng results niyan. I was able to provide everybody with a hard copy of the module and a soft copy as well. Tama po ba? So hopefully po you could report to your head teachers pertaining to your progress in dealing with the TIP. And syempre there should be the skill. Okay, there's no doubt about the skills of your instructional leaders and the skills of our teachers. gusto ko lang pong i-emphasize pagdating sa skills are uh, two skills po na kailangan meron tayo both as instructional leader and as teachers or client. One is that we should be uh, open-minded. No, let us try to look at things in a positive way. No, sana po pag may mga comments na binibigay sa atin, let us not be so defensive. Ano po, hindi po yung defensive tayo kaagad sa ating position. Of course, you could always explain. Talaga pong kailangan natin magpaliwanag. That is the way for us to be understood. But at the same time, sana po maging open-minded din tayo na this discussion is for purposes of improving our craft. Po. And syempre, another thing, we should be vigilant. After po the technical assistance, after po the giving of suggestions and recommendations, sana po will be responding and will be acting upon it. Kaya po ulit-ulit ang cycle ng technical assistance is because doon na po natatapos ang lahat. Pagkatapos ng usapan natin, balik na naman po tayo sa dati. Okay? So sana po hindi po ganon. Okay? Kung ano po yung na-recommend sa atin, let us utilize it. Okay? And of course, another component of this process is the goal. Kagaya po sinabi ko kanina, be clear about the goal. Kung medyo madami pong kailangang i-improve, especially this is very common to new teachers or teachers who came from the private school na medyo iba talaga yung setup pagdating sa atin sa public school. So in this sense po, dapat clear yung goal. Ano ba ang gusto mong i-achieve right now? Will it be the development of the pedagogy? Ang gusto mo bang i-improve sa kanya ay how he or she manages her classroom? Ang gusto mo bang i-improve sa kanya ay paano siya gumawa ng DLL? Isa pa po yung very common. When you ask a non-Filipino major to teach Filipino, no? Tapos yung kanyang area talaga is being taught in English, hirap na hirap po talaga gumawa ng DLL or DLP in Filipino. And we are the same in that particular area. No, hindi po madali. Mas mahirap po para sa akin na gumawa ng DLL and DLP in Filipino. Okay? So, yan po. Kailangan may goal. Ano ba yung gusto mong unahin sa lahat? Okay. At para po nakikita din natin yun ang ating progress. So, this is the entire journey that you are going to take hand in hand with your instructional leaders. Okay. Nasa kauna-unahan nga po yung achieving set goals for continuous improvement. Ano ho? Hindi po pwedeng pag na-meet na natin yung goal, tapos na. Iiwanan na ulit natin. Di po ba, pag hindi natin pinapractice ang isang bagay, we tend to forget it. So, there should be a room for continuous improvement. Kailangan po ang plano natin ay maging bahagi siya ng ating pagkatao. Okay. And of course, we should be reminding the clients, ito po yung teachers, their prime responsibility and accountability. Sa isa pong technical assistance process, para po tayo may accountability. After giving technical assistance, it is the responsibility and the accountability of the teacher to act upon it. Wala naman pong saysay ang mga naganap na technical assistance kung hindi naman po natin isasabuhay yung ating mga napag-usapan. Then of course, you have to provide, or your leader should be able to provide alternatives. Iko-connect ko na po siya doon sa lives decision making in the hands of the client. So, ano po? Ang conference po sa technical assistance is a two-way process. It is an open dialogue or communication. Each one of you could share insights, could suggest. And kagaya po sa guidance and counseling, it's better if the alternatives will be coming from the teacher. Ako po, for your information, ay 7 years na guidance counselor in a private college. Okay? So, yung pong proseso ng guidance counseling na mas maganda na nagmumula lahat ng alternative sa client ay ina-apply din po natin dito. Because when the teacher suggests something, it means it is something that he or she can do or can provide. Mas madali po yun sa kanya, mas magaan po yun sa kanya. And at the end of the day, kung yun man ay Zentrum, A to Z, complete, no po, siya pa rin po ang magdidesisyon kung paano po niya ito isasabuhay at kung alin po dito talaga ang kanyang susundin. Okay? No amount of technical assistance will be effective if the decision of the teacher is not to do anything at all. Okay po. Technical assistance is a process for developing creative, cost-effective ways to provide targeted support. Ayan po, importante po na ma-assess ang gaps, barriers, needs, kagaya po ng ginagawa natin ngayon. Talaga pong ako ay minsan napapatulala sa pag-iisip. Ano po, kung paano po natin idadaos ang school year na ito. Isang araw po kahapon yata yun, ay half day ako nakatitig sa learning continuity plan. Wala ako napindot na kahit na isang key sa aking laptop. Okay, so we should be able to assess the barriers and the gaps, no? Mostly po magiging reliant talaga tayo sa technology. And ito po yung lagi nating barriers na nakikita, no? The technology itself, no? The gadgets available, internet connectivity, hindi po tayo sabay-sabay na nagkakaroon ng available na connectivity, reliable connectivity. Meron pong teachers na kung kailan may ine-expect na conference, doon sila maglo-load ng may bigat-bigat. May mga areas po na hindi abot ng maayos na connectivity, kailangan pa nilang pumunta sa ibang kamag-anak para lamang makasagap ng magandang signal. Meron pong schedule ng brownout sa dudlot, o kailangan umuwi ng lipa dahil doon may kuryente, things like that. So kailangan ma-identify natin ang barriers na ito at ma-address natin. Okay po? So, kung meron po kayong barriers na ganito, teachers, do not be reluctant to tell it to your head teachers, no? Or to the master teacher, whoever is intended to give you technical assistance. Minsan po kasi kaya magkakaroon ng misinterpretation, akala namin, umiiwas lang talaga, while in fact, it is true naman pala na mayroong problema. Ay, bumigay si laptop, ayan. So, things like that po. Kailangan ma-identify natin yan at ma-address kaagad. And then, develop a strategic plan for long-term change. Ayan, ang plano po natin ay should be long-term, no? Meron po tayo dapat workable work plan na hindi po matatapos kapag natapos na ang technical assistance. Okay, at the end of it, practice makes perfect. And if it is already perfected or if you are already practicing it, it becomes a habit, it becomes a part of who you are. And then create an innovative approach to an emerging complex issue. Ayan, ito po yung ginagawa natin ngayon. Because the case of the pandemic is a complex issue. To be able to deal with this, hindi po matatapos lamang ng isang webinar. Hindi po matatapos ang problemang ito kapag kayong lahat ay nabigyan ng laptop, kagaya po ng pangako ni Mayor Africa. Pero nabanggit na rin po sa amin ni Sir Homer yon, kaya malamang po ay maging makatotohanan. Sabi po parang pati ang principal sa ibibigyan. Ang head teacher kaya, hindi po namin alam. But anyway, we should be coming up with an innovation, a project, or a program. Okay? Just to share po with you, we po at the language department follows the Bridges program, Bridging Regulated Instruction and the Growing Involvement of the Society. Ito po yung naging programa namin last year. And then dito po ang nanganak ng iba't ibang mga proyekto. Ngayon pong pandemic, nanganak po siya ulit ng isang project that we call Project Connect. Okay? Collaborate openly in the new normal to commensurate transitioning. Ito po ang kabuuan, plano na susundin po ng language department to be able to cope up. So medyo komplikado po siya in the sense na hindi lamang po iisa ang activity narito, pero kung makikita nyo lamang po iyon, it contains a lot of provisions for technical assistance. Kasi nga po, this is a complex problem. So I am encouraging po everybody to do the same. Ito po kasi magsisilbing mapa natin. No? Para alam po natin kung ano ang ating gagawin. Paano natin i-deal ang classroom observation? Paano natin i-monitor ang reading? Paano po natin tutugunan ang pangangailangan ng ating teachers? No? Okay. So, marami pong aspeto. Paano natin i-encourage ang ating community, especially the household? Ngayon sila ay magiging para-teachers. Ano po, kailangan masiguradong lahat ng bata ay may para-teacher na nasa kanyang tabi all throughout the school year. So, map out your project in the form of an innovation. Ayan. A technical assistance po is information sharing. Sabi ko nga po kanina, it is not a closed dialogue. Pareho po kayo nagsasalita. Huwag lang sabay ha. Okay? So, it's an open dialogue. You share what you know and you share your experiences and you explain your side why things happen the way they did. And your mentor, no po, your education leader will be open enough to listen to you. Okay? So, paano po natin to ginagawa? Eto nga, we have conferences, meetings, memorandum, resource sharing. Ayan po. So, in this pandemic, we are all remotely separated from one another. We schedule the conference. Okay? Pwede po yun. We can also do it by memorandum. Okay? Ito po ginagawa ko. Bahagi po ng Project Connect, naggawa po kami ng sarili naming web FB page. Kagaya po ng ating FAB and NHS faculty. Nagawa po kami ng ganon. Kung saan po, instead of memorandum, reminders po, lahat doon ko po binibigay. Okay? Yung mga templates na kailangan po nila, doon ko po nilalagay. It's a way of technical assistance. You are addressing everybody in one place. Okay. Yan, ito po. FGD is my favorite. Ano po, alam na alam po yung Tagalog. Pagka technical assistance, I group them, no? By grade level and by subject area. I always believe that two heads are better than one. No? Ang maganda po kasi sa FGD or focus group discussion is that you are hearing other people's insight into the matter that is being talked about and everybody's able to share. Wherein, lahat tayo pwedeng maka-benchmark. Di po ba? Ano yung mga practices na po pwede ko rin gamitin sa aking klase? Okay? Ang ating naman po mga innovations, ang ating mga projects, ang ating mga practices, they are not patented. Ibig ko po sabihin, ang greatest essence po ng ating ginagawa sa classroom ay kung siya po ay nababenchmark ng ibang teacher at tayo ay ginagaya. Ibig sabihin po, you are doing something that is effective. Di po ba? Yan. Pwede rin pong one-on-one consultations, especially if you are going to talk about a bit of a confidential matter. Mas inaano po natin ang one-on-one consultation. Halimbawa po, in terms of your conference in relation to your IPCRF, that is something that is confidential. Baka po may mga teachers na ayaw nilang ipaalam ano yung naging marka nila sa kanilang IPCRF. Di po ba? Yan. So, mas maganda po ang one-on-one. And then yun nga pong coaching and mentoring. By the way po, master teachers are very good mentors. No? Mas bahagi po ng kanilang performance task, bahagi ng kanilang IPCRF and the expectations po mula sa kanila ay ang pagbibigay po nila ng assistance in mentoring and coaching. Ito pa po, kagaya ng ginagawa natin dito, capability building. So these are LAC sessions, trainings and workshop, job aids, webinars. Ang isa pong malaking problema natin in terms of this one is, yun nga po, when you do webinars live, no? Siyempre, maraming nakapaloob dyan na technical difficulties. Nag-brown out po kahapon. So, na-miss nung iba nating mga katribo mula sa Mataas na Kahoy, Banay-Banay at San Jose. Ang talk from 9 o'clock onwards, no? But don't worry po, I think Sir Adam is recording everything and it can be posted at pwede natin balikan. At yun din po ang ginagawa namin. I'm not sure kung nakita niyo na po yung ipinost ko pong video. That is a recorded webinar. Maririnig niyo po doon ang mga words na Teacher's Nest. The Teacher's Nest po kasi is our official educative community. Ito po yung FB page ng language. At tinatawag po namin ang ganitong klase ng recorded webinar as flash talks. These are 30 minutes or less, no? Na mga talks about important matters that we need to do. Kasi po, nahihirapan nga po ako na ipunin parati at parating tawagin ang aking mga teacher to sit for a webinar. So, ang ginawa ko po, nire-record po namin, I asked the help of my key teachers. May ganyan din po si Ma'am Daisy Budumo. Tips on module writing naman po yung kanya. May iba pa po kaming, mayroon po ulit akong i-upload sa Monday as requested by Sir Joe. That is all about IPCRF e-tools. So, sa Monday ko na po yun ibibigay. Okay. So, by that po, may freedom po ang teacher, ano po, kung kailan niya gustong tingnan or panoodin yung inyong webinar. Okay. Siyempre po, ang medyo lapse doon or medyo shortcoming ng strategy na yon, we as instructional leaders do not have any, tawag doon, we don't have any means of checking if you really watched it or talaga bang naintindihan. Naintindihan yung naging talk. Ano po. Kaya nagpapasalamat din po ako sa mga nag-chat pa last time because of that flash talk that I uploaded in the group. Okay po, nakakataba po ng puso ang inyong mga komento. Maraming salamat po at sana po ay tunay nga nakatulong. Yan. So ito po yung mga networks natin. We can do phone calls, emails, ayan. Speaking of emails, mga kasama, especially with this kind of situation, we have to maximize the use of our email. Until now po, marami pa rin gumagamit ng hindi official na email. Sana po i-maximize natin ang ating mga DepEd accounts. Ano ho? Kasi po, hindi po lahat ng bagay ay mapapadaan sa Messenger at saka sa mga post. Ano po? Mas business-like po pati ang nasa email at mas protected po 'yon. Ang isa po kasi problema natin kay social media, ano po, is the issue of data privacy. Yung mga blogs, Twitter, and Facebook. Ang isang advantage po naman niya is that they are so easy to work with. Kasi these are the platforms that our learners are most familiar with. Kaya tayo po ay doon din sumasama sa agos na iyon. And there's nothing wrong with that. So dami na ba naman natin dapat aralin? Ay aaralin pa rin ba natin ang panibagong internet platform, di po ba? So okay po yun, maganda yun. Kaya lang sana po hindi maiwan yung paggamit natin ng email. Ano ho? Time will come na itong mga emails na to magiging very, very useful sa atin. Kagaya po sa webinar na ito, if you don't have any registered email, hindi ka makaka-join sa webinar at hindi ka rin po makakakuha ng iyong certificate. So sana lang po learn to maximize the use of our emails. Lalo na po ang DepEd accounts, okay? Yan. Ito po, yung networks po natin na iba, like e-newsletter, discussion boards, video conferencing, communities of practice. Okay, I am very grateful po to Sir Epoy Cobillas that even with this pandemic, our newsletter, our squadron po can still publish online. So kung kayo po, anybody, even our head teachers and principal, if you would like to utilize our squadron to be able to give out technical assistance to our teachers or to send out a message to our learners, you could, Sir Epoy, ipinalag ko talaga without your permission. Pero at least po kasi, yun po yung katotohanan talaga na ng buhay natin ngayon. Ano ho? So if you would like to utilize these platforms, just communicate po to us. Yan. So, the technical assistance that we'll be facing right now, ito po yung mahahalaga niyang konteksto. No? Review, contextualize, and implement learning standards to make the curriculum relevant for learners. Lagi-lagi po natin sinasabi, hindi porke ganito ang sitwasyon natin, mawawala na ang standards. Pinagdidiinan po natin ang quality and accessible. Po. There is a need to review the curriculum. That is true. Kailangan po natin ma-familiarize ang MELC. Iniwan na po natin yung sandamakmak na competencies. Pinangest, okay, pinaikli. And of course, there is a need for contextualization. This was very effectively given to us yesterday by Dr. Manaog. Ano yung kahalagahan? And mind you, the legality of contextualizing. Yan pala ay isang mandato. No? Yan pala ay isang batas that we have to do. Okay? Provide technical assistance to teachers on teaching standards and pedagogies within and across learning areas to improve their teaching practice. Kung mapapansin nyo po, ito po ay objective pa rin sa ating COT rating sheets at saka po sa ating IPCRF. We should still be able to integrate across learning areas and employ whatever appropriate pedagogies we know of. Kung kailangan po ng technical assistance, don't hesitate to ask your head teachers. Provide assistance to teachers in using learning assessment tools, strategies, and results consistent with curriculum requirements. Ayan po. Talk naman po ni Mamuhana kanina lang. The very importance of assessment tools, sabi nga po natin, this can make or unmake our learners, especially in this condition. Ganito na nga po yung sitwasyon natin, magbibigay pa tayo ng test na wala namang kinaalaman sa kung paano tayo nagturo. Remember po that we should test as we teach. Kung ano po ang laman ng itinuro, yun po ang laman ng ating test. The formative test should be an scaffolding of activities leading to the summative test. Kumbaga po, through the formative test, the students are being trained on how they will be dealing with the summative test. Huwag naman po yung pakaluwa ang formative, ay pakana naman ang summative. Ay paano po ang mangyayari sa ating learners? You will be frustrated at the end dahil sasabihin mo, hindi natuto ang iyong mga eskwela. Ang mga eskwela naman will also be frustrated because despite of all their efforts, hindi pala yun ang examen. Okay, so let us avoid all these things. And how are we be able to come up with good assessment or assessment tools? Your head teachers will be very willing to be of assistance to you. This validated feedback obtained from learners, parents, and other stakeholders. Siguro po in the days to come, we would expect that SD Olipa will be giving us guidelines on this matter. Maaalala niyo po, very, very sensitive po talaga ang Department of Education sa puso at isipan ng ating mga parents at learners. Sila ang tinanong kung kailan natin gusto magbukas ang paaralan. Sila ang tinanong kung ano ang learning modality na kanilang gusto. So the same way po na siguradong pupulsuhan din nila ang ating mga magulang at mag-aaral kung paano po tayo nagbibigay ng education in the new normal. At kung tutuusin naman po, ito po ay hindi bago. Naalala ko po ang sabi ni Ma'am Pen, ni Dr. Morcilia when she delivered this talk to us, maikli daw po yung talk niya kasi wala namang bago. Okay, there may be new in terms of the strategies and the platforms that are being used, but the very essence of giving technical assistance is not new at all. At ito po ay hindi na rin bago. Di ba, Ma'am Recinto? Hinahanap lagi sa atin, sa SBM, ang feedback ng ating mga learners, ng ating mga parents, especially in terms of curriculum implementation. At yun nga po ang medyo hindi natin masyadong nagagawa. Ayan. Okay. Ito po ay it's the comic, sana po we look at technical assistance, okay, in this way. Sana po i-welcome natin. Do not take it as an affront to your abilities or to your preferences in the way you deliver your lesson, but think of it as a way to develop yourself and improve your craft. Wag po tayong gumaya dito sa dalawang ito na busy daw sila. Okay lang ako, hindi ko kailangan yan. Tinatanggihan po nila yung bilog na gulong at pinagtsatsagaan po nila yung rectangular nilang gulong na ang dala-dala naman po nila ay sa damakmak na bato. Can you imagine how heavy the burden of these two people are just because they neglected and they rejected the assistance that is being given to them. So at the end of this journey, mga kasama, tayo po ay kapit-kamay virtually, in dealing and coping with the new normal. You could expect that your head teachers, your educational leaders will be giving you technical assistance, and we are always welcome to entertain if ever you need assistance and guidance from us. Okay? Sabi po ni Navin Tiwari in Mobi, flat is the new growth today. Every business needs to ensure it survives first before it can thrive. Hindi naman po namin inaasahan right now that your performance will be soaring high up. Kagaya lang po yan ng COVID cases natin. Hindi po natin ini-expect na mag-zero siya kaagad. At least man lang po ma-flatten. And for us in the education community, what we are expecting is for you to flat and not fall down in this new normal. And with that po, sana po ay mayroon akong naibahagi kahit kakaunti. Thank you very much po.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Alma, for that very comprehensive explanation. And at this point, may text lang si Sir. Baka raw may message or assignment na ibibigay ang EPS ng PLE at saka si Mama Francia Silva.
Naksarado mo.
Ma'am Francia Silva or si Sir La Rosa, baka may siya. At saka si Ma'am Evelyn Castañeto, kung may mga announcements, bago po tayo pumunta sa open forum. Hello, Ma'am. Ma'am Silva, Ma'am Evelyn, or Sir La Rosa.
Okay, good morning everyone. Sir La Rosa. Parang na-attend na uli ng isang webinar. Ano mga ma'am? And Dr. Franz Silva. Dr. Silva po. Ayan. Parang wala na rin. So I'll take the opportunity to announce. Okay?
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Ma'am Buduma, thank you so much po. First and foremost, my dear teachers, blessed morning to all. It is nice to hear that you have conducted this kind of webinar that have been conducted by the Schools Division Office. So in behalf of Dr. Sir Homer Mendoza and Ma'am Cathy, of course, together with the CID Chief and the SDOD Chief, so I am congratulating the Fernando Air Base Integrated National High School. So thank you so much. Nasubaybayan ko mga kasama ang inyong webinar session, and I congratulate all the speakers, especially yung Google ninyo, yung sa assessment with Ma'am Ohana and of course Ma'am Alma. Napakaganda ng delivery on how technical assistance will be delivered among teachers. Nakakatuwa na lagi yung sinasabi that the head teachers are always around to help you and to guide you. And that's a good point na talagang sa technical assistance, we are seeing to it that we are making constructive criticism. Sabi nga, that is a two-way communication. Hindi isa lang, hindi si head teacher lang ang tama or si school head. So that should be an exchange of ideas. So anyway, I will be just announcing, if you had already registered all, lahat po, junior high school teachers and the senior high school teachers, with that of the link that we will be conducting, if I am not mistaken, on July 13 to 15, with the development of ideal lesson exemplars, mga kasama, please use your DepEd account always. Yung mga wala pong DepEd account ay gagamitin ko, siguro po ay i-PPM ko para makuha. Lagi po, lalo na po sa mga ganitong pagkakataon, since ang host natin ay Ma'am Jan Adams Budumo. Okay, nagtaka ako. Sabi ko, sino kaya yung bagong teacher sa Fernando Air Base na Jan Adams? Kasi hindi pa po yung Budumo. So please, if you have some issues and concern on your DepEd account, so si ITO po, malaya natin maititext. Again, so hanggang mamayang hapon lang po ang registration ng ating what you call this, lesson exemplar. And with that, Sir Joe, we will be requesting also, if possible, the monitoring and evaluation tool of this. If you just need the assistance of Sir Ariel Garcia, who is our MNE officer, so he is very willing to help you so that we can have some feedback from teachers. Okay? And in your feedback, sabi nga ni Ma'am Alma, malaya po kayong makakapagsabi. It does not necessarily mean na pag nag-comment tayo ng negative, yun ay batos sa ating eskwelahan. Hindi po So negative feedbacks are always the basis for our improvements. So mas maganda po na naririnig namin kung ano pa yung improvements na kailangan natin. And with that, congratulations po kung sino man ang nag-hold ng webinar na ito. Sir Joe, thank you very much po for the opportunity to talk in a while. So I'll be expecting all po you to register together, of course, with the head teachers. Head teachers, kayo po ay magre-register online sa inyong specific area of specialization.
Yes, ma'am. Done na po, ma'am.
Ang ating pong senior high school teachers ay per strand po ang registration. And of course, our dear school principal will be registering on the school business.
Ongoing po.
Sir Joe. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Good morning.
Thank you, Ma'am Canieto. Let's go ahead, Sir Joe. Go ahead, Sir Joe.
Naku, sorry po. Ma'am Daisy,
Yes, sir.
ang ating pong education program supervisor sa Pilipino, si Sir Enriquez po ay present din.
Sir,
Sir Enriquez, okay ka lang pong magbigay tayo ng inputs or mensahe po sa mga guro ng Fernando Erbis Integrated National High School po.
Sir Enriquez, good morning, sir. Dr. Enriquez. Sir? Wala na po yata si Sir Enriquez, sir. Sergio?
Si Ma'am Escabel.
Nariyan po, sir. Okay na?
Okay na, ma'am?
Okay na, sir. Wala na siguro sila naka-alis.
So, in behalf of the Fernando Erbis Integrated National High School employees and